show on the path of life, so turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright, I'm dreaming about music. I'm just an average Joe on the path of life, so turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright, I'm dreaming about music. I close my eyes on a pillow and wake up on a stage where I'm dreaming about making more than minimum wage. The day's short, I don't know if I'ma see another, so I've been looking through the music like I'm Stevie Wonder. Make a mission, what I've been making's different. I'm hungry, my tummy aching, take a listen. Jukebox in my third eye, word life, you heard right. Trying to get unstoned and stop living the curb life. The blurred light, hope at the end of my tunnel, but my head's been in the sky.
I like to wake up to Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew. Wake up in the morning, this is what I like to wake up with. Mr. Wake and Bake, Happy Bongos, and Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew.
Welcome, and we are back. We're live from the Stay Lifted secret basement studio where we've been relegated to for the current time being. This evening, we're joined by my esteemed colleague, Ryan from Wake and Bake with Ryan. We will later be joined by the unmasked physicist, Zach. And tonight we're talking about the Eternals and all things Marvel. But as we normally do, we'll start off by getting really high and probably talking about stoner movies or something until Zach joins us. So we're going to start right off as we start every single episode off with That's Right, Fred, a bongo time.
Bongo time.
And sorry if I get that tone where I sound like I've got my own child show, but hey, that's right, everybody. It's bongo time. Give me a beat.
Hello, an energy, and hello, bongo.
Are we sober from earlier? Oh yeah, that was like we were pretty high, but about a half hour later, we were all both just fine.
Yeah.
Not like you. He's gonna make me do it, and I will.
What?
Fred just starts off with cocks. Fred always starts with cocks. Never mind. But no, we're on the road to not being sober again, and that's the point of all of this ridiculousness is not being sober. So we're not far away from Zach. Zach joining us. But until he does, did you enjoy the Eternals?
I did.
See, I feel like tonight is going to be resoundingly positive, with the exception of Zach.
You didn't like it?
Well, I mean, I think he's okay. Like, I have negatives. Like, I have notes.
Yeah, like I have negatives about the movie too, of course.
Oh, in my research though, I came across something that I think particularly you'll like.
Okay.
Apocalypse.
Okay.
Could be celestial.
Yeah.
Though he's born of Earth, his armor is known to be celestial.
Okay.
there's a whole bunch of, like, I read this, I just did a bunch of research talking about Celestials specifically, and the top 15 most powerful Celestials, and they included MCU and comic books. So, like, Star-Lord made the list, because technically Star-Lord is Celestial.
True.
He wouldn't be an Eternal, because the Eternals are created. This was a birthed half Celestial.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of plot holes missing in this movie that they could have done a lot better.
And we'll get to those for sure. But I thought you'd find a need. But yeah, Apocalypse's armor is Celestial. And because he's the first mutant and he's been here since the dawn of time as it's known on Earth, there's an argument to be made that he could rank among the Celestials, maybe a naturally born Celestial. We will try any weed once. But a lot of what we smoke here might be a little stronger. Venom would kill Captain America. Nope. Maybe? No, I don't know.
Venom would kill Captain America? I don't know about that. Captain America is...
I'm pretty sure Cap has donned the symbiote before also. Like, everybody has. There's like a whole series of Venom comic books where like everyone is Venom. Yeah. Like, all depends on which Venom we're talking about, right? So you have Venom as he exists around Spider-Man. You have Venom as he exists around Brock. Venom as he is around Flash Gordon, which is Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Then you have the Lethal Protector series, which is kind of a different version of Brock. As far as MCU or the live-action movies go, I mean, Venom is shown to be really strong. He's been shown to have violent tendencies and be able to make a bunch of weapons. But again, Cap heals fast. He's... I guess one-on-one, hand-to-hand, if we're even talking about Brock's Venom, maybe. But again, Cap's a master strategist and a brilliant fighter, so, I mean, he'd have a shot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put it down to hands down.
If it was first encounter, maybe Venom would win, but like as soon as Cap found out about the sound thing, it'd probably be over.
Fred Easy, 21, is pointing out that Venom can do 3 grams of shrooms in a drive. Well, again, that's what we do here. We get really high and we apply logic to and physics as we know them to exist in the Marvel Universe. So, but I mean, there's so many characters that, like, Venom and Captain America are ground level characters. Tonight we're going to be talking about some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Although, again, even at ground level, we get Star-Lord, and like I said, he's actually on the Celestials because he was born a Celestial, which I just find, I always forget that one fact.
Yeah.
That Star-Lord is indeed a Celestial. And what else would you like us to use? We have to use logic. We like logic here.
Definitely. One thing I wanted to ask you with the credits, Steve.
We should wait for Zach for Eternal stuff. You have notes on this?
Yeah.
Brian made tons of notes.
Tons of notes.
Oh, damn, this it's good. A little bit of swamp weed.
And Thanos is a deviant?
Thanos is okay. I mean, Celine Dion is venomous. Sorry, what did you say?
Is Thanos a deviant?
No, he's an eternal with the deviant gene. Now, the problem is that they just fucked a whole bunch of things up with this movie that we'll get to because...
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't get, because then the end card doesn't make sense.
Brother of Thanos, right? But we're told in this that the deviants, again, spoilers, a ton of spoilers are going to be logic and fiction generally only combine in politics unless you're super baked. Yes, you would be correct, but I mean, in this case, Marvel sets out these rules, and we know the world's physics, so we get to apply it's called continuity logic, I guess, is how I'd put it. So because we know certain things about how these characters could and can act in the comic books, and we know how they've been set to be able to act and what their powers are inside the MCU, we get to kind of deduce what they can do, how things would happen, and what would happen in a fight. Are we always right? Of course not, because there's a ton of variables in here that go far beyond just can Venom beat Captain America, or is Thanos a Celestial or an Eternal, or what is he?
Yeah.
So that is a really good question, and I'm not 100% sure where we land on this now, because again, as we said in the comic book, Thanos is an Eternal with the Deviant gene.
Yeah.
So the Deviants weren't what they are in the movie now. The Deviants in the comic books are more, they're all Eternals, but how far is the Deviant gene, which is more of a problem? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's looked at as more of a genetic disease. So it's weird, because in this case, it seems like they make an ultra intelligent, great being if they combine the other.
Yeah.
Fred gives good vibrations. That's all good. And I mean, who doesn't just want to yell out? We're just going to, as we do a lot, we throw up some videos we've done for our sponsors. The band, if anybody that doesn't already know this band, you want to check them out, it is Bigfoot Portal Crisis. And here's a video of a great bag of weed that came from our sponsor, Mad Dab Labs. You can check them out at maddablabs.com. And they may or may not share their prescription with you wherever you may live. So, servicing almost all of Ontario.
There we go.
And we'll ship almost anywhere. Charcuterie board is one of those boards that you put all the meat and cheese and shit on, and make it look as pretty as humanly possible instead of just putting the shit where people can eat it.
Sure.
And I support people's rights to have charcuterie boards. So we already got that one, and then for Fred Easy, so Dion versus Carnage. And if you want to apply logic to it, I mean, if she could sustain her vocals at a high enough pitch, she'd win. But I mean, the second she breathed, Carnage would like shoot something across the room and cut her head off. So
yeah,
that's how it would go. Celine Dion would belt out as loud as she could for as long as she possibly could. To what ends, I'm not sure. She doesn't have any other powers besides legendary lung capacity and the ability to abandon a whole country. God, I don't know why I hate her so much. I think it's I was gonna say I think it's people with no lips, but I like Reba McEntire. I'll catch up here. Well, exactly. She would just use her vocals for any symbiote. I mean, he's adding good parts to the conversation by bringing up potential interactions that people could have. And these kind of questions get asked are asked and answered more than you'd think in comic books. Like,
Yeah.
Batman has gone on an adventure with Archie and with Scooby-Doo. Like, there's a whole series of comic books. Like, it's Batman. There's one Batman versus Elmer Fudd.
Really?
I'm not even kidding. That exists. Batman versus Elmer Fudd is an absolutely real comic book. Archie versus Predator, which is really fucking cool. I've been wanting to buy that one for my mom for the last like 10 years, but it's really expensive. Well, I mean, what are we doing? I mean, just straight up drinking. I think your liver is still a little younger than mine now, so I'm not sure I can handle it. If we're gonna go brawling out the back ways, I mean, it could be fun, but we're both gonna have a black eye and drinking a beer in 20 minutes anyway, so it didn't really matter, and I did it. We have discussed the Fast and Furious a little bit here, but we don't often discuss the Fast and Furious. I'm a fan of the films, as I've stated to people, only because they're just fun, outrageous, insane. The first one got me a deeper interest in cars, for sure. I didn't know there was these little tiny cars that had engines that went really fast and shit. But past that, they're just these exciting adventures. They're like Ocean's 11 meets James Bond meets Fast and the Furious 1, really. I tip my monster to you, sir. We talked about earlier that Dark Hawk is coming.
Yeah, Dark Hawk, yeah.
That was the only newest announcement we've had. Besides the delays, which I don't think the delays will be that bad, but unfortunately, all the theatrical releases are going to be pushed back at least a month currently.
Yeah, this sucks because the next content we're getting is a couple DCs and Morbius, right?
Well, yeah, we're gonna get the Tim Gunn's new series.
The Batman.
No. Tim Gunn is doing the crap. What was John Cena's character in Suicide Squad? The Patriot. Yeah, I think it's the Patriot as the character.
Batman or Never Misses or something.
Yeah, whatever it is. Well, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, yeah.
So Peacemaker has a series. Tim Gunn did a series with John Cena. Cool. So we're getting that soon. They just wrapped on that, and he's on the tour for that.
Nice.
Which means then they're jumping into filming Guardians.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But that'll be the next major thing we get from DC that I think. But that one will be fun.
Flashpoint was supposed to come out in February.
What was that? I forgot.
This month it was supposed to be Batman.
I so don't keep up with DC releases. I want to, but I'm like,
no,
you can only disappoint me so many times before I'm like, all right, well, you guys have fun. I'm out.
Yeah, it's true. They definitely need to redeem themselves sooner. To lose all the friends.
100%.
But yeah, Robert Pattinson's The Batman is supposed to come out this month, but it's been delayed, of course.
You got a Mongo time.
Long time.
You need to comment too. We got one more comment after you power 5. We are attempting to hit affiliate at some point. There's the 5. You're just amazing, and we miss you, and we hope we get to see you soon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, now I have to do another bond, because you called the bongo time. Where is Zach to share the bongo time?
That sounds hurt.
I want to talk about the Spider-Man stuff, but I feel like we have to wait for Drew.
Yeah.
Just so many people that come into this. I'm only halfway through, and I've had so much fun watching the cartoons.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to watch along and talk about it with us, we usually on Wednesdays we're talking about cartoons from the 90s, primarily comic book cartoons, and in that we break apart specific arcs. Our first one was Apocalypse in Time, and then the Worth of One Man from X-Men, so like 3 to 4 episode arcs. I'm moving on. Oh shit, that's hilarious. Sorry. He's like, Chili, shut up. They can hear Chili walk across. I guess our location has been figured out. Yeah, Zach is going to be here soon. We hope.
No, I should be here any minute.
You said you spoke to him. He was just at band practice, rocking out to some 30 going on 13. And they're a great band. Anybody watching, they should definitely check them out. He is just on his way back from band practice. They're doing some recording tonight. Well, we can talk about some of the Spider-Man stuff. Drew will catch up. He will be here to speak about it. He'll have notes. How are you liking how it starts?
When he shows up at Mr. X?
Yeah, like it just out of nowhere. Here you go. I'm just knock knock.
Yeah, mutating. He wanted to be cured of the mutation, and Professor X is the classic him and saying, "I don't cure mutants here.
Yeah.
I only help them use their powers."
War Room fucked him up though, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that was. No, we don't make. Well, there are times where we play music on this, but tonight's not one of them. Ryan and I will be doing stoner live guitar in the near future. In case you couldn't gather by the name, we're going to be high and playing guitar.
On guitar.
Iron Man. Well, okay, it's funny because in reality, Iron Man is the cause of every problem, and normally the solution in the MCU currently. Every big bad, there's a ladybug in here. But every big bad, every problem, all the Spider-Man's villains, everything all the problems stem from Stark Tech.
Yeah.
And that's not over because Iron Wars is coming and Iron Heart is coming, and those two combined are going to be the tracking down and the fixing of Stark Tech that's been stolen or used.
Sense.
And I am happy that it is happening, and if Ryan wants, I might even have I probably have some files for Liver versus Liver here, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I see we got really high, and I have to keep making the conversation so we're not talking much.
I don't know. What's
Actually, this has happened. Batman versus Iron Man.
Batman versus
And
Iron Man?
Is my pick, but they end up working together. But there's a show, a YouTube channel called Bat in the Shadow or something like that, and they do really, really realistic, and they do these big film productions of those questions. Like they'll put Spider-Man versus, it was Venom versus Goku or something like really weird like that.
Sure.
We're just going to jump from this comment right here. Okay, guys, see this comment? We're going to jump from that one right to this one. We're going to keep those files off there, but I was going to try and find the logo at least. But Batman versus Iron Man, I feel like it all depends on what version of Batman. So if we're just going to talk about, the Dark Knight, the detective, the regular bat suit with the belt versus Iron Man and any mark of armor. I'm gonna go with Iron Man because of the armor advantage. And yeah, that's just my call. It'd be Iron Man. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Iron Man on that one. He's smarter and got better tech.
Oh, went for smarter. Went for smarter. I feel like if James was watching, we'd be shunned right now. We might have just lost our executive producer button. And we make these little cards, and as you can see, that James guy's played scrape card is a Batman symbol because he's a pretty big Batman fan. When I asked him what his favorite comic book character was, we got into a really long conversation, and I wrote it back. I'm like, man, I just need you to pick one single thing, and I'm just gonna go with that later. Like, it's Batman, right? Like, you just pick Batman. It's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
Bongo.
Bongo.
I mean, it's half of it, so one of us will smoke a bong.
I
No, I'm
guess
kidding.
so.
Shoot. So yeah, we're just here hanging out, and we're just waiting for our third to arrive. That was a good bong tone thing. We're just waiting for our third to arrive, and then we're going to dive into the Eternals and all things Marvel. We were just talking about the Spider-Man cartoons. I really like how they just like. Okay, but in that one,
how's it going? It's not too late. Yeah, we're talking about Spider-Man. What were you saying?
we are just getting ready to. What's up? We are waiting for our third to join us, and then we're going to tear apart the Eternals. Well, I mean, not tear apart in a bad way. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give some analyses on it. We're going to have a good old time going over everything that is Eternals. So coming in the future is definitely a spoiler warning. Zach's just on his way back from band practice and should be here any moment. And we're going to just quickly give a little word from our sponsor. We front load these things, so we don't end up doing them in the middle. But here's a quick word from. Yes, we are a coven.
Oh yeah.
We mix magical tonics that smoke and bubble, and we alter
Bubble,
perception
bongo,
and
and
reality.
tremble.
Our third is we call the unmasked physicist, because in the beginning he wasn't sure he wanted to be on camera, so he said, well, you can wear a mask every episode, and we'd call you the masked physicist because he has an advanced degree. But he just decided, screw it, I'm going to be on camera, and he was fine with it.
That's amazing.
I cut this.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate that.
I was here to entertain and do whatever we can.
That is true. We try and entertain as much as we can. We are just we are just here for your entertainment. Dropping bowls and talking about Marvel and just trying not to get too deep into the Eternals until Zach gets here. But man, I had a good ride again. I think the only thing we can all agree on, and it's not a spoiler, is just that they probably should have taken the Disney Plus stream route and gone with a series.
Yeah, this is the one time I'd say it should be.
But how could you justify that budget without having at least some theatrical release, right?
Yeah.
That was a pretty big budget. But I overall enjoyed the film, and I think we're going to have I'd like to hear what Zach's. So we wouldn't really let Zach tell us much about it before because he had seen it before us.
Like, I know he said he enjoyed it, he just never saw any of the fight scenes or hear anything before. And for you, so you don't know, he watched his camera version, so we always,
And we ride him pretty hard on that because we don't do cams.
yeah, who does though, right?
Anyway, what's everyone's opinion out there on cams? Are cam versions okay? Like, I just can't do it.
Yeah, it ruins the movie for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
And especially not these. Like, I could probably watch something that's more. Have you ever seen the movie My Life as a Lobster? I think it is.
I don't think so.
So it's more of a conversational and thought movie. Like, I could watch something like that, but I mean, not a Marvel film. Not something that's spectacle.
Yeah, I hear that.
No, not cam girls. We're talking about cam versions of films as they release on bootleg.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, for sure, 4K Pornhub only. But I mean, 4K for everything only, really, if you can, because I mean, we've been given it, so we can't take it away now. Here's another quick video from sponsorship. It's from Mad Dad Labs, and if you want to check out the artist, it's Mindset. You can find him on all streaming platforms.
I'm just average Joe on a path of life. So turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright. I'm dreaming about music. I'm just average Joe on a path of life. So turn off the light, let me get some sleep tonight. Alright. I'm dreaming about music. I close my eyes on a pillow and wake up on a stage where I'm dreaming about making more than minimum wage. The day's short, I don't know if I'ma see another. So I've been looking through the music like I'm Stevie Wonder. Make a mission, what I've been making's different. I'm hungry, my tummy aching. Take a listen. Jukebox in my third eye. Word life, you heard right. Trying to get unstoned and stop living the curb life. The blurred light, hope at the end of my tunnel. But my head's been in the sky.
Well, we're back. That was a bag opening from our sponsor, Mad Dad Labs, and the artist behind that. The song in the background was Mindset. You can find them on all streaming platforms. Yes, as in someone, takes a cam into the theater and
Yeah, it's pretty low quality.
breathes over the microphone and shakes it and ends up in the wrong framing. And I don't understand how anyone can do it. I just kind of jump over some of those comments. More of a serious version of it, for sure. John Joel is the artist you're referring to. Everyday average, normal guy. Everyday normal guy is the song. He's got a ton of wicked bangers. I love that dude. I want to dive into Eternal. Zach is too far behind at the moment. As he's allowed to.
No.
As we often say around here, we have to. I've got to break up more weed already. Maybe some of this Mogwai sour diesel.
All right. Mogwai, thanks for sponsoring. And we love smoking you.
That sounded perverse. Our chat's more active than it normally is. It's trying to keep up. Who makes good spaghetti sauce? I might be behind and have not remembered who we were talking about when you typed that.
Zach, maybe?
I don't think Zach knows how to cook anything.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Physicist, not a chemist. It looks like so from. It depends on what platform you're on. So if you are watching on Twitch, or which it looks like you are, or if you're watching on YouTube. So the other chats that you see jumping up on the screen, like Fred's or Greg's, they are coming in from, I think, YouTube. So yeah, we can see chats from different places, but I don't think I can.
Yeah, I don't know how to link them all, so.
Yeah,
Until we
we're
figure it out, we'll keep you posted.
we're learning as we go. I think there is a way for me to have the chat show up over there, and one day we will have that happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be diving into Eternals really soon. Catch up on that bongo time I missed.
Oh. Catch up. What's it? Bongo.
I rewatched Shang-Chi again with my wife the other night because she had not seen it yet.
Okay.
And honestly, it is just such a fun film.
Yeah, I like that.
And I know that James guy and Screen Rant have put out that one video on how Marvel has an aesthetic now. But I feel that in this case, this film needed that aesthetic. And even moreover, I feel they altered the aesthetic to fit more of the classic martial arts film than the normal Marvel film for the time that it became brighter and even more saturated than Marvel movies normally are, going in exactly the opposite direction.
Sure.
Next movie we're excited about? Well, I mean, I think Thor 4 or Thor Love and Thunder is going to be just amazing because of the characters they're bringing in, that being Thor the God Butcher. And we'll probably see Dane Whitman come back somewhere in there because there's a relation between the Ebony Sword and that. So yeah, the Thor movie I'm really excited for. What else is coming right now? Morbius.
Morbius is the next one. And then we got Doctor Strange, Multiverse.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is probably the
That's
biggest one that is really on our minds right now.
Yeah. With Deadpool just announced in the movie, if anyone hasn't heard out there, Deadpool is going to be doing a cameo at least. We don't know how long he's going to be in it, but he's going to have a part.
Which?
Doctor Strange.
Oh, I did not hear that announcement. Where did you read that? We're going to need to scoop that one. Bongo time. Well, it's been called, so Ryan, you have to do a bongo.
All right. I'm not bongos.
Yeah, wait for them.
Bongos.
Well, okay, so on Mondays we handle a ton, like every week it's a new 3 films, one each that we pick, that usually keep inside the sci-fi, fantasy realm. I pick a lot of stuff from the 90s. Ryan picks all over the place. Zach usually picks poorly, but sometimes brings some of the best movies I've ever seen. Coherence is a movie we've covered and we'll cover again because we covered it before we were doing it this precisely, which is a great movie that everyone should check out, that I won't even break a synopsis on, because as soon as you start talking about what happens in it, you're giving away what's going to happen. So we watch a lot of different stuff. And we talk about a lot of different stuff here. Like our last 3 movies were The Nines. Wow, we literally just up Dune, and How High. And next week's films are.
How do you get high scores, Barry?
Right. Our next 3 films, I will tell you in just a second.
Man, that shit smell good as hell, dog. I'm Jamal.
Peace, Silas. So you trying to get something to bring them nerves down too, huh, bro?
Yeah, I figured if I study high, take the test high, get high scores, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we so this week we picked
Man of Tai Chi.
oh right, the Wicked Keanu Reeves
And another Keanu Reeves, the man from Earth.
that is not a Keanu Reeves film.
Okay.
That's just Zach's pick. And what was your pick?
The
The
man
Wolves.
from Earth.
So this week we're next Monday we're going to be discussing The Wolves, Man of Tai Chi, and Man of the Earth.
Let's release the beast.
So yeah, we do handle a lot of different stuff, and we're always up for suggestions if anybody wants to talk about any part of geekdom that we know anything about. Days of Thunder is always going to be one of my favorite movies. It's on the honestly, okay, it's not. If you knew the original content, which Zach and Ryan did, it's probably a great movie, but unfortunately, I didn't, and it was just a lot of exposition and kind of boring. So I was not a big fan of Dune, but these guys were, and I'm gonna watch it again right before the next one comes out because it's a trilogy. But back to Days of Thunder. Have you ever seen Days of Thunder?
A long time ago, yeah.
Well, what was your opinion on good old Cole?
He never gave up, at least.
There you go. He did kind of give up. That was the
Yeah,
whole second act of the film.
Well, yeah.
I at a younger age kind of compared myself to Cole because I knew a little bit about cars, but I just like to drive them real fast. Like I was more like Ricky Bobby. I didn't care how that worked. I just wanted to go fast and to do dumb shit. So yeah, Days of Thunder is an awesome movie. Well, if you want to pick Days of Thunder and come on here and get stoned, you are more than welcome to come and get stoned for an evening. And we will review Days of Thunder and talk about how great it is. We do plan on bringing on guests, and the way it works is the guest has to watch the two movies that we pick, and then we watch the film the guest picks. Then we talk about all three on here. Ricky Bobby is hilarious, and there's a little Ricky Bobby in me and all of my Mopar brothers. You spent some time with the Mopar people. We're all a little Ricky Bobby.
No.
We should have a 20-minute stretch.
20-minute stretch.
Yeah, actually, that's usually why we put the videos up. Is so we. I don't know what we mean by 20 minutes. So like why we need to do 20 minutes, but yeah, that's why we put the videos up sometimes. Is just so we can stand up and move around a bit. I'm totally down. I think it would be a blast and a lot of fun. So let's book it. Just got to pick a Monday night. Would you be down for that? We'll do a racing movie night. So the three of us would have to collectively pick one racing movie, and then we'll do their two picks. Have Fred Easy and Greg on.
Sounds good.
Love it. And as for a stretch, I might throw on another quick one there, just so we can get up and move around a bit.
I like to wake up to Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew. Up in the morning, this is what I like to wake up with. Mr. Wake and Bake, Happy Bongos, and Chocolate Bombs by Skeleton Crew.
And yes, I agree. Seventh inning stretch of it every 20 minutes, and yeah, that's what we kind of do. We get up, moving around a little bit, get our blood flowing so that we're not too sedentary for too long. Are we on MySpace? I actually still am.
You are? Well, there you go.
Yeah, I have access. I still have an active account that is MySpace.com/Morganson. It's my old band.
Sure.
So that is still seeable. I would love an ICQ account, which I'm sure that there is emulators out there. We could still open up ICQ accounts if we want.
That would be cool.
Wow, those are some real. That's like that's so much nostalgia. This is why I picked so much stuff from the 90s.
Yeah, ICQ was for MSN and everything. If those of you out there that don't know about that.
I feel like, well, I guess it's Twitch. So if we have viewers that aren't directly from our personal feeds,
Yeah.
we could have people out there that are probably before ICQ.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Most people don't remember past MSN. Depending how young they are.
I definitely did.
I did.
Actually, you can. We have right now only a couple things up on our site, but you can check us out at liftedtheshaunts.com/stay lifted, or just search Stay Lifted. We have a link tree, and I keep forgetting to build the graphic to put it up across. But we currently have this shirt up there for when we were doing Hawkeye. That is limited and going away. As well as we have our Wake and Bake merch and our regular Stay Lifted merch. So we do have t-shirts and stuff. And we are sponsored by Liquid Chrome, which we keep forgetting to say tonight. Sorry, I'm really high.
Liquid Chrome?
We don't have our own signature series yet, but we do have our own signature lighters, which we're currently out of. And we will have more of those with Liquid Chrome lighters. I mean, ours. The Stay Lifted lighters. So, we do and will have more and more merch coming. Hotmail. I have a Hotmail account. Imperial2@hotmail.com. I'm not even kidding. Number 2. When I made my first email address and my first screen name, I had nothing around me. I was like 14, and I had a pack of DeMaurier cigarettes, and they're made by Imperial Brands Limited.
I don't know.
That's how I got my first screen name, and I still have that email account.
I still have Hotmail. Mine's r0707@hotmail.com.
Yes, we can talk about movies. So as Fred mentioned, Dune isn't. It's not that it's a bad film, but I mean it is a very heavy film. It's very topic specific, and they're really adhering to a specific story. So it may be hard for some to get into, but I still found it to be a reasonably good film.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on Dune?
Like it stuck to the story from the games and everything. So
I find it funny that you don't know it from the books; you know it from the games. That's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's like that half of my.
I was
Marvel,
a visual learner, I guess. You
Yeah.
say.
hands on, need to interact with it.
Yeah.
But it's that's why most of my knowledge started and rooted in the cartoons, and then I'm like, wait, there's comic books about this shit? Cool, I'm going to read those. So I mean, I'm on the visuals. I'm more on the visual with this stuff as well. So I understand that. I mean, he's on his way, and he could be either getting a taco or just not have left yet, or still smoking bowls. I don't have a great answer, but I'm hoping very soon.
We will make him eat the rest of this 500 milligram gummy from Mad Dab Labs. Check him out.
Yes.
Pretty cool stuff.
Just to keep him.
It's a sour key, or it used to be. We ate half of it the other time.
Spider-Man versus Superman. I mean, there's no real contest there. Only because of. I guess he could web them up. Like, he just get through webs. Like, I'm trying to break it down in my head really quickly how their fight would go.
Yeah, that's we got like kryptonite in his webbing.
Yeah, without his secret weapon coming into play, I imagine Superman would just kind of.
Yeah, he would need to know his kryptonite. That would.
Yeah.
That would.
I would say Superman has that one.
Or Superman. Yeah, right.
Well, I'm actually going to eat a hash rosin gummy right now, and Ryan can eat that other half if he wishes.
Well, yeah, half was that, yeah.
We're eating hash rosin gummies from unlicensed producers. Vis-a-vis, Mad Dad Pops. No, he did not. Anybody remember how deep that voice was? Like, just like quoted Crash Test Dummies.
No.
I'm trying to eat a gummy.
Mm.
Well, I ate one. You gonna eat that?
Yeah, one car.
We'll wait for Zach to get here before I lose another person. I'm just talking to camera. Ryan's hair is pretty epic. It's bouncy.
Oh yeah, Fro.
Unless he's talking about mine, but I need water. Oh, Zach isn't. Oh, I guess he has in the last place. Well, I know that they're doing a little bit of recording, so that they're granted that. Did you end up watching How High 2 yet? As we discussed.
No, not yet. I definitely need to check that out stuff. Have you, anyone out there, seen How High 2? I haven't, and have you?
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't help myself. I had to watch it right away. Like as soon as I finished How High, I put How High 2 on right away. Well, I mean, yeah, but people bang in air. He said fish bang in water, and I said, yeah, but people bang in air.
Wow. I like to play the air guitar once in a while.
Well, what are you gonna do, man? Everything bangs in something, so you're just restricting your life if you're gonna stop drinking or eating or doing things that have been banged in.
Yeah. It's a big mic, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
All right, I'm gonna
Big mics, you can
no shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to get gapped out there for a minute. Well, I guess we're gonna start talking with the Eternals because hey, here we are, and Zach will show up, and we'll end up talking about things again. So the Eternals opens up with just a whole bunch of words that are lies, and
yeah.
I just like, the deviants. The way they describe the deviants lie, they came out of nowhere, darkness. No, they didn't.
No.
Isham reveals later that he made them, so that part's a lie. Like, who are all these lies for? As they build these layers and layers that they don't really overly develop, but they just keep dropping on us, and then going, "Oh no, that was a lie."
Yeah,
Like-
they didn't really explain. Like, was there test failures? Like that resulted in a lie.
I feel like the whole movie said, "Hey, here's a setup. Nope, here's the reverse."
Yeah.
Like they didn't naturally play it out. They didn't build it very
exactly.
organically. But again, I think that comes down to not having enough time.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, they should have done the TV show, like you said. It would have probably been a lot more successful, and they could have done releasing it like every character's had 500 years to themselves. Like they probably had lives. That's 5 centuries of lives they could have.
They could have
With
dedicated
humans, with
a half an
whoever,
hour
families.
per character and backstory.
And then we could have got Apocalypse right there. We have the celestial body. Like, one of them went off and banged some human, and Apocalypse was born.
Okay, so yeah, you said that earlier, like why didn't? And I mean, they weren't supposed to interact. So I mean, and they're synthetic beings. So like in the comic books, Eternals have children and there's generations, which is why there's the deviant gene. But
Yeah.
in MCU, they're all mechanical essentially.
That doesn't make sense because we already have the deviant gene with Thanos and his
And-
brother.
This is what we're gonna need some serious.
Yeah, like Marvel, you have to explain that one to us because that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. So why is Thanos purple? So okay, well here, okay, wait. Think about it this way. What if the planet you're sent to you have to look like those beings to blend in. So the planet Thanos got sent to, they look like that, right? So like the Eternals that would be on Gamora's home planet would all look like Gamora's people. See what I mean? And so maybe that's the way that, like, I'm just trying to figure out how they would be setting it up. And yeah, I feel like this would be.
You'd have a lot of loopholes.
Oh, it's how, yeah.
Covers for sure.
So I think this is how they're dealing with that. Hey, listen. Yeah, the lens flares were awful. JJ shouldn't have been allowed to ever use a lens flare. I don't know, Greg. Are you sad that the Eden's department stores have closed? Well, there's still Eden Center, isn't there? Zach is actually as everyone knows, Zach is our resident Star Trek enthusiast. As he had pointed out to me that Star Trek is science fiction, and apparently, I feel a little attacked by this, but Star Wars is science fantasy, and that difference is apparently important.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, fair enough. They're having a side conversation about the Eden Center. So after we get past the scrolling web of lies, we get introduced to the Justice League. I mean, the Eternals. Because, like, seriously, does this not feel like? Because I feel like this was being crammed together the way the Justice League was crammed together. Like, it didn't feel organic the way they built the original Avengers and stuff. So,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, no. Yes, we can address them for a minute. And no, I'm not a massive fan of lens flares as they were overused by J.J. Abrams in the new Star Trek movies. I think in the first one it added a cool effect to some scenes, but was definitely overused from there on in. And then, what was it, the third Star Wars movie all had a bunch of lens flares in it. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Greg. Star Wars is superior to Star Trek. But they are comparable in size of world and lore.
What do you think of Star Wars' new shows, Barry?
Well, I think The Bad Batch was absolutely brilliant, and everyone should watch it twice. The final season of Clone Wars was... I have loved watching Order 66 from this many angles and getting so much more history and backstory outside of Anakin's world.
Fair enough.
And I know you're baiting me to say I haven't watched them, but I mean, The Mandalorian Season 1 was good. I haven't watched Season 2 yet. And I have not watched Boba Fett because... And I will, but I mean, why do we have a Boba Fett movie? Why is everyone so obsessed with this character that does
I think it's
nothing
supposed to lead up to the Obi-Wan show coming out too.
That's a shame for his life. I mean, I suppose so. Well, I mean, always Captain Kirk. Like, currently, I guess they're both a little older now.
Yeah.
That is a really funny analogy, but yeah, they were the lens flares got overused. But I like them. Like, I mean, they weren't horrible. It just overused.
Yeah. Definitely overused.
I'll have to ask Zach that question when he gets here because I am not a Star Wars or Star Trek aficionado. I'm a Star Wars person.
For sure.
Do you watch Star Trek at all?
I've seen The Next Generation, most of it.
Well, I mean, of course, like I've seen all of the Next Generation. I've seen all of the original series. I've seen all of the movies. I mean, both the old ones, and then the middle ones, and then the new ones.
I watched.
I think Star Trek Generations is a prediction of how our future will happen. And let's not get too deep into that, but anyone that wants to go watch Star Trek Generations, and that's my prediction of how the world will work now. What will happen in the world inside of 100 years?
Well, that's you, Barry. That's you.
I mean, Jabba's not the world's most interesting character. He's just a Chicago gangster fill-in. But like the Clone Wars, I mean, I think it's some of Disney, but I think it's some of Star Wars' best product since Revenge of the Sith. As that's my favorite, and I don't care who knows it. I love Revenge of the Sith. I love watching Vader become Vader. But Clone Wars is just brilliant. I think everyone should go watch it. If you've liked any of the Star Wars properties, it is the best of it. The final season is just so great.
I know. I slowly get through it. I'm only on season 2. Bongo. All right, Barry, you're up.
Oh, it's mine.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'm surprised Zach isn't here. It's almost 11. Bongo time.
But Clone Wars has brought a lot of joy to my life. I even rewatched it when where was that comment? Clone Wars. Again, watching Order 66 from so many different angles, which is what happens in Clone Wars, and then you get to see it again in Bad Batch. So you get to see Order 66 in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Right? And then you get to see it in Clone Wars, and you get to see it in Bad Batch. Am I missing a property? Oh, right. You get to see it in... now I'm just too high to remember the next cartoon series. What comes after Clone Wars?
I don't know. Is it the 6 or the new one you were just talking about?
In ounces? How heavy do you think the stones are? Well, they change, and their weight is less. I don't know, because they're infinitely dense, but seem to weigh nothing. So I don't really have a good answer for that at all.
Well, they do use them for paperweight in the Loki series.
Right. So I mean, if they're heavy enough to weigh down paper, I'd imagine, they have to be at least a couple of ounces. So
yeah, probably 4 or 5 ounces.
Yeah, somewhere in there, I guess. Ryan, you got another one.
No.
Although it is supposed to be bongo time, we will accept bongo at the moment.
We'll accept bongo.
Oh, you might have to go off camera and grab your dab rig for the next round.
Oh, forget the dab rig you said? Where is it?
Yours is over there.
I don't remember.
You asked for 1 gram and got 3? I guess so. I think that is one of the funniest little throwaway lines in Loki is the whole, I don't know, some of us use them for paperweights. I'm going to set Pearson up with a dab. Although I don't know why I'm giving you more drugs. You're already falling asleep on me. Did you just fall asleep again?
Why?
I gotta have to get you a monster, aren't I? You cannot fall asleep on me. Well, you can't fall asleep on me before Zach gets here, which, yes, Ryan has fallen asleep a couple times. No. Yeah, we are. We're just cleaning her up
Yeah,
from
they
the
get
last.
And it ready. To clean her up.
Oh, you wanted the. You want the lemon concentrates, or do you want the crumble? What do you want?
Lemon concentrate today.
Fred doesn't actually mean that. And we don't usually acknowledge much inside of the political conversation. Because we're here to talk about movies and stoner stuff.
Yeah.
Just going to take a minute here to set this dab up for Ryan. We got some sugar wax here.
I'm excited. Gotta have a lot of wax.
Lemon drop. Oh, I just keep saying lemon drop even though there's... Oh, lemon skunk.
Lemon skunk. This is all by Mad Dab. If go check them out if you're looking for a good time.
Oh, curated by. I
Curated.
not remember that word today. It was driving me nuts.
That's the word of the day and tough one. Curated. Bongos.
Ooh. How's that taste? Movies and stoner stuff does sound great, and that's what we do like to talk about here. Although sometimes while we're waiting for all of our hosts to arrive, we end up getting stoned and gapping out. Ryan coughs very loud. Are you all right now? All right. I think I'm going to do a hot down. So Ryan, why'd you pick the Wolves? Do you want to tell them why you picked the Wolves? And you want to tell them what your original pick was? So we each pick a movie each week. We each watch those. We all three watch those movies, and then we come together and discuss these three films that we are bringing to each other. Ryan, would you like to tell them your original pick and why we can't watch that movie?
Well, as Barry thought that Jason Momoa was not a good actor, and
I just said I hadn't
decided
seen
into
it.
thinking one of a random movie of his, thinking it was going to be good, as it was his favorite movie in the 90s, The Crow, and it doesn't exist yet. So we had to pick another one. So we're doing the Wolves by him, Unleash the Beast or something.
Yeah, we're gonna check out The Wolves by Jason Momoa. Zach sent me a picture of Jason Momoa's, and I guess they're an actual product, or maybe it's just a Photoshop. Yeah, and then I realized that I had watched him in like 7 seasons of Stargate, so I had watched a bunch of his stuff. So I'm just gonna hit the sugar wax and see how that goes on a hot dog. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. All right, we can talk about Avatar for a minute. First off, my opinion on Avatar is very straightforward. Those that love the film most likely saw it in the theater. Those that are like, most likely saw it at home for the first time. And I think that really matters because it's a big spectacle and a beautiful movie. So, I mean, yeah, it's good, but I also saw Ferngully in the 90s, so I don't need to see it again in live action. And we've just seen so many versions of this movie before. Like, why is Sigourney Weaver smoking in a movie about the future? It's just so stupid. So no, I don't have much love for Avatar, and they they use the same thing to fuck that they do to interface to talk, and it's weird. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Avatar to begin with. How are you excited for the new Avatar?
Well, I don't know how they're gonna outdo the first one, because the first one came out at the time when it was 3D was just coming out. That's what made it big. So this time it's just gonna be, I don't know if it'll be as big, to be honest. But we should see.
All right, just like to remind everybody that our channel is not PG-13. We do swear and say things, so that's always a great experience, and it definitely would have made me like Avatar more. Which person from Canada? We're all from Canada. What we were talking about, well, yeah, my excitement for Avatar 2 goes to the extent of I will most likely end up watching it just because it's an unfortunate part of pop culture that I have to live through. Did you like the first one though? Like, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, like it was okay. Like, remember it was nice graphics and pictures, and it was cool in 3D. Like I said, it was, I don't know, at the time 3D just like got popular again, even though I know it's been out since the 80s. And yeah, I don't know, that's what made the movie big, right? Because of the 3D.
I watched it on a 17-inch laptop screen.
That's probably why you enjoyed it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Because but if a movie can't withstand not being a spectacle, it means there isn't any story.
Yeah.
Right? And if your only catch is that you're a massive spectacle, that's awesome. But then I have to go see you in theater, and you can't expect me to still like you if I don't get a chance to. So yeah, that's probably why it's just meant to be a massive spectacle.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm actually worried about Zach because we're rounding 11.
Yeah, you're not this way.
So I'm going to get Ryan to message Zach again and make sure he's okay. And we're going to throw up a really quick. Actually, we're out of commercial videos to play, so I'm going to replay one. Sorry. And we're back, and we've left that message up on screen because those waiting for Zach, he is on his way, and we'll go back one. Which one? Pick a movie. Because the franchise overall, I'm a fan, but the movies have let me down over a couple of them. So, James Cameron. Is James Cameron Canadian?
James Cameron?
Yeah, the Avatar director. Is he Canadian? I don't think so.
I think I'm pretty sure he's American.
Yeah.
But 95% sure I'm wrong.
They take a fear out of space. I mean,
Just keep
Well, he asked me to review Fast and the Furious, and I asked him to pick one, and he said 9. So, all right. If you like James Bond and you like Triple X and you like Ocean's 11, then yeah, I think you should like these movies as well. And if you also happen to like cars, especially the idea that any of these cars could live in reality, like this. Oh, 9 is not when Dom is against them, because I always get stuck. Like, I can think of a scene that actually really lost me with them when they go car to car. I think in 8, and they're like, that car must have 1,000 horsepower. You mean 2? You mean 4? Like, oh yeah, you mean 32,000 horsepower? Like, come on. Like, no, it doesn't have that much horsepower, and even if it didn't, it wouldn't matter because the car would have to weigh 300,000 pounds, not that much. I mean, the car would have to weigh 30,000 pounds to pull all those other cars around.
Yeah.
And have that much horsepower to be able to do it. But the torque number would have to be off the charts. So, yes, there's things about the Fast and the Furious series that is really bad. But then they strap a whole bunch of shit to a Fiero and fly it to space. So I'm like, all right, so I'm just supposed to forget physics entirely and be cool with everything, which makes the other scene perfectly fine now. So they retrofitted, they retconned and made everything made sense by shooting a Fiero in space. So in that act alone, 9, not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Remember when I was negative about everything? I've been trying to be more positive.
I hear you.
9? Oh, I'm sorry if I spoiled that, but I mean, all of pop culture has been talking about the Space Fiero, so I don't have much else to add about that. I mean, I don't know why is John Cena. Did you see 9?
I haven't.
Oh,
They lost me after Walker.
was that your line? Just no Paul Walker, I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah. But then I keep watching it through, like, how are they handling Paul Walker being dead? And they just he's with the kids.
Fair enough.
Now, Mia's the badass. But I mean, the only way you could make his character die would be in a car accident, and that'd be highly inappropriate given how he died.
Yeah.
So they just don't handle his death, so.
I don't know.
I cannot speak intelligently about. Oh, why is John Cena WWE? Sorry, I forgot I asked that question. We're pretty stoned, so sometimes I forget my own references. But yeah, I critique that part of Fast 9. All of a sudden, there's a brother and a whole backstory that they have to force feed in like 900 cutaway, like.
After 10 movies, they said Dom as a brother.
Right? That no one else has ever referenced. That, you know, like, it's just, come on, no. So, and then this dude does some straight up bad shit, like some of the worst shit out of all of the stuff they've done.
Okay.
And then because he gets backstabbed by his boss, all of a sudden he's just forgiven and part of the family again and helping. And I'm like, what? Yeah, no, Fast 9's got some serious flaws.
Fair enough.
But they took a Fiero to space, and for some reason that made me really happy. Come on, every Fiero owner on the planet got really excited that they finally did something with a Fiero. So yeah, that's my review of Fast 9. Will you ever watch Fast 9?
I'll probably catch up with that.
So you have not seen any of them since Paul Walker left the franchise or died and
Yeah.
no longer in the franchise. So that's like 5 or 6.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's 3 movies, 4 movies if you count Hobbs and Shaw.
That's
And there's a TV show set in the future with little kids.
sure.
I'm not even kidding. This is a totally real thing. Dom's like nephew or grandson or some shit, and they have honestly, it's not the worst thing I've ever watched in my life. Because like I'm like, all right, I gotta see what this is, right? So it's on Netflix. I put it on, and like it's just insane futuristic cars doing insane things now.
Okay.
Like, everything glows and yeah. So and they try to get it back to the roots, but like street racing.
Yeah.
Well, like there's a street race in the first episode, and then like they're recruited by the CIA.
Fair enough.
It's like, all right, fine. I mean, Gone in 60 Seconds. Which one first? The second one was the one, obviously, of my generation. It came out when I was. Did you see Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah, Nick
Cage. Oh, we're going to be talking about another one of her movies a little later. Wow, just thinking back to that, she has aged. We should watch Hackers. Because we were doing Eternals tonight, just to compare.
Oh, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, like, oh, they didn't paint her well in here either. Yeah, the original, I only remember seeing a couple of, like, when I was much younger.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Cage's version, It Never Rains, But It Pours. And the idea that they just wrecked the car and scrapped the whole deal because he was one car. Like, come on. That's ridiculous. They would have just called their client up and said, hey, man, we're going to be 2 days there. We're going to ship that one to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the one with Angelina Jolie is actually a remake. There's a movie it's funny because they use the same Mustang as Eleanor, but the Mustang's actually relatively new because I'm pretty sure the movie's from 1970 something. Yeah, it's a good driving movie from the 70s. Man, I really don't remember. Like, it's not the same plot, but similar.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth watching. I would definitely check it out. But the second, the remake has a great soundtrack.
Okay.
And I can't remember it off the top of my head because we're too stoned at the moment. But yeah, Gone in 60 Seconds by Angelina Jolie is definitely a superior driving movie to most of Fast and Furious, but still a ridiculous concept. And reminds us why standards are so hard to have sex in. Wonder if Zach's actually stopping to get tacos. You totally see him being out there like, no, just because I made the joke.
No.
He probably just started watching right when I said that. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm hungry. I'll get some tacos. Zach really likes tacos. I'm pretty sure most of our friendship is based on how close I live to Yo Taco. I mean, no, come on. Two-Lane Blacktop, Dirty Mary, or Crazy Mary. Yeah, there's some exploitation era films that are just fucking epic. Don't get me wrong, it's great. I'm not knocking it. I'm just not going to put it at the very pinnacle. It's just on the list of the top maybe 10 of all time for sure. I like Keith. I haven't smoked just Keith in a long time, but we normally have Crystal laying around. And if you're going to smoke some right now, guess what? We'll smoke with you. But you can't put those in the same. They're not car movies. They're not both car movies in the same sense of being. One's a driving film about like car movie, and the other is just a movie about a bitchy car, which I love both. Just one's a horror suspense thriller about a possessed car, the other is a driving movie and a crime movie. But again, have you seen Dirty Mary or Crazy Mary? Dirty Larry, Crazy Mary, or Two-Lane Blacktop?
Mm-hmm.
They're exploitation era car films along the same line as Gone in 60 Seconds.
Okay.
I would not suggesting putting time in your bongo ever. That would probably be pretty. That would probably taste pretty bad. Like, unless you're like making soup in your bongo.
Speaking of Angelina Jolie, she got the same tattoo as my bongo on her back. It's a Buddhist scripture. It means
Prayer.
good luck. Prayer. Thank you, Liquid Chrome, for hooking me up with this Marley Bongo. Go check out Liquid Chrome for all your bongo accessories.
Who made who? That reference always reminds me to the opening of Maximum Overdrive by Stephen King. Also, yes, Christine by Stephen King, or the original book by Stephen King, which is actually a really decent book.
Yeah.
But a really good movie. It was Stephen King had just came off of Cujo, and I feel like Cujo was an experiment in how great a film could be in plain daylight, along the same lines as Children of the Corn, which is another Stephen King adaptation. We just need to jump into it quick. You know what? I just might make him come on camera for shame of being so late now.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah,
he's actually. That's hilarious.
That one is way too short.
You've been requested and talked about.
Oh my goodness.
We've been all over the place attempting not to get deep into Eternals.
Oh,
which is no problem.
how could you think beyond Fast and Furious like 2 or 3 that physics had anything to do with it?
Oh, I mean, I get it. Yes, there's so many like her inside should have been liquefied on the jump over the bridge with
There's
the tank
just no-
scene.
But that's
There's
what's
so
great
many
about it.
things, yes, but I was always okay with, you know what, they're just, it's the idea of like Captain America, right? They're just the best and the pinnacle of humanity. You know what I mean? Like, they eat nothing but superfoods and work out all day. They are spies
Yeah.
now, okay?
So
So,
Dragon the safe, you can't.
and even on that, I'm like, okay, but the second they just start screaming out horsepower numbers that are just, I don't think you could really get them out of that car. No, because up until like the 4,000 mark, I'm like, all right, there's some turbo
And this
setups.
is when
for
they
sure.
talk about computers in movies without knowing what they're talking about.
Yeah. And like they can hack the world, literally, but it's like now they have a tank of a truck. They have the Rock's vehicle. They have a BMW or a Bentley, a whole bunch of just ridiculous vehicles that are all at least 3,000 pounds now. And a Mustang.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe a Charger or a Mustang. I don't remember what he's driving this moment. It's most likely a Charger or Challenger. Is just going to make them all move. Well, they go opposite direction of it.
So that's what I mean. You can't apply. And so, like, if you even try like you are, there's. I was thinking about it. The 4 forces in physics were replaced with one that's more powerful.
Family.
And if you just follow that logic, then the movies are amazing for what they are.
Exactly. But then Dom was against the family at that point.
The
So
story's
then-
about family. It's just exploring ideas revolving around family.
No, but I'm saying the force. There's
Oh.
two forces.
Anti-family.
No, Dom. Dom and then family. That's like
Remember that-
weak and strong nuclear forces. Dom is the strong nuclear force. Family's the weak.
I looked up because we've seen that clip of all the Vin Diesel lookalikes just saying family. Thank you. Somebody hired 14 Vin Diesel lookalikes and got them to chant family. That's the story behind that. I thought that fascinating.
Isn't it one dude though?
No,
So
it's
there's
14
one
people.
guy on. No, but there's. I think it's the. I think one of them is the guy that did it.
Oh, possibly. I don't
Because
know.
there's one dude on TikTok that he's all over, like he's all the time out with like 1 or 2 other Vin Diesel lookalikes. It's ridiculous.
It's very Eric Andre-esque.
Do you guys know Steve
Steve?
Rogers?
Oh,
Steve?
We know Rogers, Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, yeah.
There's a Steve in your band. Not actually.
That is true. Oh, it was like a 5-hour practice today. We played one song, but it was a hangout party, and like Mike's hand was hurt. We just did a sound check.
Yeah.
Me and Keegan played a lot of it with the sound. So.
Derek's appointment went much later than thought. So we were supposed to come over, and I was
Okay.
going to come smoke a couple bowls and then head back over here to set up. But Derek didn't end up finishing up until after 9:30. Like or after 9, so I couldn't, or around 9, I couldn't leave and come back.
Yeah, Steve
Gutenberg.
Jobs.
Ew. We've had our most active chat this evening while you were here, so it's kept some occupation. So, like, just keep going. It keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going.
Well,
We,
let me hit this.
yeah, like you're way behind, and I'm surprised no one's called bongo time on you yet.
I think I saw it when I got here. So.
All right. Well, they have been waiting for you, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this evening we've been really avoiding talking about it, so now we can get into more.
Fast and the Furious.
I'll talk about Fast and Furious all night, but we're not going to get a lot of viewers talking about Fast and Furious.
Are you kidding? People love that shit. Who doesn't love Fast and Furious?
So kind of. I mean, I know a lot of people.
Yes, and I can't believe what he's done.
Zach, what'd you think of the Eternals?
It's hurt. I didn't like it at all. It was like a terrible DC movie.
See, and they're the top of my notes. There's through Star Wars, Justice League. Because did it not feel like
non-Snyder. Yeah.
It's like Justice League, where it's just like it doesn't make sense why you're doing what you're doing. You're just collecting people.
It felt like a soulless cash grab attempting to build something new, having no idea how to do it at all.
You know, I thought of this the way I think of a lot of the movies you pick. Like the ones I don't like that you pick are like, there's a third of a movie missing here. Like they forgot part of the story. And we've been saying all night, this should have been a Disney Plus series. This needed 8 hours.
I didn't care about any of them except the Bollywood star and his cameraman, who were awesome.
And I thought he was,
I loved him.
right across the page, love the valet. Karan is amazing.
Yeah, okay.
Like
so
he
there's
was one of the
stars.
best parts of the movie.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
know. I think he was one of the most unbelievable parts.
Yeah.
The actual actor, the Bollywood guy.
He just
Like,
needed it.
he was too smiley and tongue in cheeky
Yes.
the whole time. Like it bugged me for the most part.
But wouldn't you kind of be that way if you were a god, basically, and live forever? You wouldn't care about anything.
No, all three of us would have turned into druids. We were like, why? No, they're dumb. Why can't we just tell them how to do it?
I'd want to be more like the Bollywood star.
Oh.
He just seemed happy-go-lucky and trying to live a good life.
Okay, can we talk about what the hell happened in the third act? Like,
I mean,
with
it's
no
really just
motivation,
this-
everyone just
Oh,
had
yeah.
to disperse. Okay. So you spent a whole movie putting you guys together, and now there's no big battle. You kill Gilgamesh. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm glad people die in this.
And
It's
here's the
nice
thing,
that people
like-
die, though.
In a DC movie, you kind of could just throw stuff together without the origin movies. They fucked it up, but you don't need to know who Wonder Woman is or Batman. You kind of already know who they are. I had no clue who any of these people are, but they jammed like 7 of them in.
They developed what? Okay, if we're gonna jump back and forth. They developed Wonder Woman, but didn't bother to develop Cyborg. What? the
Exactly.
fuck?
Like, and Cyborg's one most people are gonna know.
And honestly, the only part of the Snyder shit that was worth watching was him finally telling Cyborg's story, which is important.
It
If you're
all
not
makes
gonna-
sense because you see all the
I-
stuff that's missing from the movie.
I don't
Yeah,
want a
it's Cyborg
Cyborg
film.
origin film. I want, if you're gonna do it this
I
way.
wouldn't mind one just because I really don't.
Oh, okay. I've always known who he is. I've never really cared about the character. So I want to know just enough about how this cyborg was formed, and this was perfect. Snyder gave you 20 minutes of development, and that was enough in that film. So yes, I always admit Snyder Cut is better, but I mean it just wasn't worth it to have to wait to watch both of those fucking things.
Was it fine
Whedon
worth the
destroys
wait?
things.
Like I wasn't holding my breath.
I mean, the amount of time taken to watch both the Whedon cut and the Snyder cut.
Well, don't watch one, but just one.
Well, I already have.
Yeah, but that's your fault. That's not the movie's fault.
I mean, when it came out, everyone watched Justice
Yeah,
League.
everyone wants to.
Oh, yeah, but it's terrible.
Well, we should have known after Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was just. Yeah. So as we were, I did. Yeah. So did you notice the parallels right away? Like, did it feel like a? Did it feel like a DC movie to you as well, right?
Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't. I would say it's up there. Like Shang-Chi is still my favorite movie of this year.
Oh, there.
By far.
Yeah, and obviously
Oh wait.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man's better.
So I
Yeah.
just rewatched Shang-Chi, and it's just such a fun movie. And I was talking about it earlier, but like the way that the you know how small screen did the editorial on the Marvel look and how James guy is always talking about the overall Marvel
Yes.
new aesthetic. But I think with Shang-Chi, rewatching it now with so much time since the last time when I was tearing it apart and wanting to rewatching it so often. But it reminds me so much of just classic kung fu and martial arts films that are set in Japan and in China and stuff. That they all have that bright feel to the happier parts of the scenery. So that oversaturation in this case, and even to a larger extent in Shang-Chi, where they turned into it. I mean, you had to for that, and it actually really fits well.
I agree.
At no point am I upset that Shang-Chi has got the Marvel glimmer.
That's why I put it on my TV all the time because, man, that magical city, god damn, it's beautiful.
Oh, Ta Lo.
Hello.
Wonderful,
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
So green. God damn. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. Shang-Chi is on the top of my list.
And then
And
obviously
I mean,
Spider-Man.
yes.
But Wang,
But okay,
Wong doing karaoke.
yes, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I'll feel differently by watching Spider-Man again. Okay, I gotta say a bunch of spoilers because if you don't know yet, I'm sorry. And I know we didn't say we're gonna be talking about Spider-Man, but if you don't know yet, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in Spider-Man.
What?
I know, shut up. I went with you. Don't do that to me. Have my back, man. He's allowed. Cam Man's allowed to say it. He made fun of you earlier, so I'm just throwing it
Yeah, I
in there.
watched Cam.
We just throw each other under the bus.
It's fine.
But on re-watching the Cam version and kind of breaking it apart, I mean, it's just a whole bunch of it's just a whole bunch of member berries.
Yeah.
Which one is?
Spider-Man. Like
Yeah.
it's just a whole bunch of here's what we already did. And I'm like,
I think I said it's kind of like
and
The Force Awakens in that sense, where they just
Yeah.
made a movie.
they did it way better.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's still just it's the Force Awakens.
I saw a good meme of the Andrew
No, sorry,
Garfield-
it's not just the Force Awakens. I just mean it's very they left us with, hey, this is what we're doing next. Like here's this ridiculous thing that is just all nostalgia.
You know Andrew Garfield's web shooting and it's the hand reaching for Gwen Stacy?
Yeah.
I saw a meme today where someone showed that picture and they said, all of you didn't care at all about this more than a month ago. Oh my god, thank you.
I did.
Yeah, it's true.
I have always said Andrew Garfield is actually my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah,
But
But
the
the
truth
truth
is, wrong.
is, people didn't care about that scene at all.
Most people didn't know, and honestly, I loved the films, and I didn't really care about that scene in particular because I'm like, dude, how could you are a scientist? You should know enough about physics. You could not grab that object at that speed by the middle of it, right? Like, and I love that he got his redemption and focused on catching instead of getting with the web, whatever.
Oh, but what Tom Holland's doing with Mary Jane, MJ, he's swinging when he's saving her from the paparazzi.
Oh yeah,
She would have,
every bone in her body would just be
her
mush.
neck would have snapped, her limbs would be broken.
For sure, and a lot of people point that out. But you know,
Thank you. Oh my god, that was really good.
well, I gotta catch you up. So other points on the Eternals that I had were it was both too slow and too much going on,
It's so
Yeah.
true.
right? Because I'm like everything felt like, hey, what just happened? But nothing happened, and it's such a weird.
Oh, and the post credits for mid.
Okay, yeah. So now we're all spoilers all the time. Like I like how tonight you're like, how who cares if we spoil? I say Matrix
No one
like
cares about Eternals. No
All
one
right.
cares.
Well, okay. I think the judgment is when it comes to digital. As soon as it makes digital, we're allowed to talk about it.
Well, it was digital 2 months ago, and I watched it on.
Okay.
I know what
Fit
you're
the
talking about,
parameters
dude.
in which you know the context in which
You know I know.
Which is a weird case with Matrix, because what do? It is digital, but it released digital. So we had. How long does Marvel take now?
I wonder how much of that was reverence, though, and respect for the Matrix franchise.
12 weeks, right?
Oh, really?
Is it 12 weeks? Is the
What?
the turnover between theatrical release and digital release for?
Well, I don't know if
for,
there's a set
for. Well, there is for obviously there is for Marvel. Marvel's the
I think
standard.
it's 55 days or something like that.
All right, well, look at it. I think that's the amount of time before we have to stop worrying about saying spoiler anymore.
No one.
Well, thanks for coming out, and we appreciate it. Zach's usually here a little earlier in the night, but they were doing some
sure.
recording tonight, so
I also thought Drew was going to be here.
yeah, that's fine. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out.
It's too late. And yeah, let's smoke a bong in honor of a very active chatter tonight.
Oh my goodness. Right after it down. All right.
Make sure you have to catch up.
Hey, I was keeping up at No, but like, what would you give this movie out of 10?
Like Spider-Man was a
I'd agree with that. Maybe even 8.5. But
all right, as long as and Shang-Chi was an 8.5.
I'd say 8 or 7.5 for me.
Wow. So in that context, okay, well here we'll make another for some more relatable. Like there isn't a Marvel movie that exceeds that on my
I'd
list.
say,
I mean, remember, compare it to the movies outside of the Marvel universe.
what's the
If
one where
we're-
they fight at the airport?
What is our basis here? Inside or outside of the?
Winter Soldier. It's kind of like a 9.
No, but wait, are we comparing this to all film? Or are we comparing
No,
this
in the
just
Marvel-
inside
in
itself?
Marvel.
Oh, okay. So Endgame being
Endgame's not the best of them.
it's one of the best.
Yeah, but Infinity War is better. Civil War is probably better.
I disagree entirely, but that's because I thought they really left us hanging with Civil War and screwed up.
But that's what makes it great.
Yes, it typically stays and gets a
This is a
very
big
great
basement
point.
too. Actually, there's a lot of room for the smoke to go.
Yeah, I do make some blocks to try and keep it in certain areas and hope that the smoke alarm never goes off.
Speaking of which, I need new batteries.
Of course you do.
Hey, it's within a week.
Oh, okay.
So. And I
Of your
tried
last
it.
inspection or just of it starting to be?
It started beep. I'm like out of fresh batteries. The one I had was also bad.
All right. Amazing. Full grown adult with a physics degree.
And computer science.
Goes a week without, but it's not like you cook or anything.
No, and that's the one in the basement. I don't understand.
How often does your stove get turned on?
I realized at one point this recently, it had not been on because I did. What did I turn it on for? Turn it on for something. It had been off for more than 3 years.
His stove has been off for 3 years.
It was off for more than 3 years. I turned it on within the last 6 months.
That's amazing.
Once. And that's
That is just hands down amazing.
it.
Anyways, back to the Eternals. So everything in the opening credits is a lie, and it really bothered me.
The exposition, Star Wars.
Yeah, the Star Wars rolling credits were lies. It says the deviants came from a dark place, and like, wait, you mean
It's all different from
The Planet
comics
Forge.
than what you've told me. From
sorry?
like Thanos is one of these things, but these things are.
Well, no, I'm really okay. So I just gave my theory on how they're trying to handle this, and because you remember the one that the guy that made the portal at the end, the post credit scene. I forget his name right now. I'm high. I had this written down. Oh no, I didn't write down his name because I was on the second watch. Anyways, Thanos' brother comes out with his.
Yeah, who
his
was that
announcement.
guy? Like I've never heard or seen him before.
What is his name, Ryan?
He's like, you might as well have said, "Hey, I'm Star Lord." Like who?
Yeah.
What guy? Oh, his brother.
No, not his
Yeah,
brother,
Thanos' his brother.
but his herald, the guy that came before him, the guy that makes the portals.
The like
Oh.
dwarf elf type character.
So, so
Yeah,
my
I forget his
theory
name.
is that Thanos is just going to be an Eternal. The planet Thanos was on is going to turn out to be. So I think of the Eternals in this case by the Marvel Universe, not the comic book, because they're robots, are going to have to look like. Did you notice that all the Eternals behind her, when Cersei's was being shown everything, they looked different. Like each one had kind of a different body type, and they looked like aliens and
Oh,
stuff.
who wouldn't have noticed something like that? No, of course I didn't notice that. What are you talking about?
Did you?
You pay attention to all these really extremely nerdy
Did
Easter egg details.
I feel like you watch your screen to figure out when I'm talking to you.
No, yeah, here we go.
Did you notice that all the different? Okay, you know when Cersei's was being shown all the different Eternals.
Did you notice Cersei's was in Game of Thrones stuff?
Yes.
With Jon Snow?
I know, I kept thinking, kept messing with yeah. Cersei. I'm like, no, these are the wrong actors, wrong characters. Like,
What?
because there's characters from Game of Thrones in this.
Yeah.
And Cersei is a main character in Game of Thrones. So when all this it gets tangled in your head, it's like two shows meshing. You're like, stop it.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to go through that because I have never seen Game of Thrones.
That's true.
Nothing but memes and pictures on the internet.
So Ryan, what's your favorite boob shot in Game of Thrones?
Oh my God, every time.
6,000.
Every time. Why can we just not talk
Probably the
about
first
boobs
one
for
which comes out of the dragons.
Oh, that's very iconic. Yeah. Look, see, I'm drooling already. Just from that. Not really, but
So I said I want to pick Hackers now.
oh god.
For next
Oh fuck, I hate that movie.
That's the most emotional response we've ever
Oh.
gotten to you, Spock.
It's a lifelong hatred of that.
Okay,
piece of
no,
garbage
but
that gets
Think
everything
about
wrong.
how she. I know why. Like she. I just want
The
to.
way that you were upset about the horsepower numbers, it's like this is the one that got it wrong. Most of all, and it was the biggest thing at the time. It's like Jesus Christ, you guys are making shit up. Yeah, Khaleesi. I was talking about Khaleesi earlier today too, saying there's a lot of kids that don't want that name anymore.
Did people want that name?
She was a really good character until later, so the last couple seasons, and then she takes a turn for the worse and becomes this evil murderess. And it's like Khaleesi was becoming the most popular name for newborns. So now all their kids named after a traitorous murderer.
Oh my god! I want to have that kind of power. If I found out I created a character that everyone named their kids after for like a good
Oh
time,
yeah, it's horrible.
I would
what she
totally
became.
do that.
It's horrible what she became. So you don't want that.
I would totally do that because it points out kind of the I can't even say fallacy. A lot of people name their kids after characters, and I totally would. Like I like people who use the
But
name
people were
Logan.
saying,
and
wait
shit.
until the end of the story now before you name your kid after your characters because you don't know who they're going to become.
And you know what? You shouldn't be upset about that. You know what I mean? Like even people who name their kids after like I know people who name their kid Logan after
Wolverine.
yeah. Like there's comic books where he's horribly evil.
Oh, yeah, but that's the way that there's a million stories about every comic book here. You can find
Yeah, I
kind of
guess-
everyone being evil.
Is this character also turned evil in the book?
Well, that's the terrible thing that happened with Game of Thrones is the show caught up to the author's books and surpassed it, so they had to make it up as they went.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's what I mean. But so the
And he's a billionaire in his 60s who's like, fuck this, I don't want to finish these books. Like, I got everything I've ever wanted in life. Why would I?
do you think he ever will finish them?
No, he'll die. He'll die of old age, and he'll die with a smile on his face. And we'll never get what he had envisioned for his beautiful ending.
That's sad.
And it's a masterpiece. And then it's just you got a bunch of corporate executives that didn't know what to do with the show past what George R. Martin had come up with. So they're like, I don't know, let's just make shit up and what we think focus groups would like. And it was just a fucking disaster. Characters stopped acting like themselves, did things against their character.
I've never understood how focus group shit gets so far off the rails. Like, do they not know how to grab the right people to focus?
No, they don't. And it's just sometimes you get people
Like,
like
how, Star Wars, right? Like, how did Star Wars get so far off the rails?
it seems that once you reach a certain size, just making money.
Outside
takes
of
over.
philosophically, I know exactly how Star Wars got off the rails, but I mean, like, how does a corporation that wants to make money let it get off the rails like that? Like, so the problem with Star Wars was
Because
you
it's
have
the bottom line and it works for whatever
Yeah.
they're marketing.
you have J.J. Abrams starting a series, then you have Ryan Singer coming in second and going, I don't care what you did, I'm doing whatever I want. And then you have Abrams coming back in the end going, well, I guess I'll finish my storyline even though you didn't
Yeah,
set up the things I needed set up.
because
And
Brian Singer's a yes man who will do what he's told, and J.J. Abrams will still he has a vision often and wants something, so he at least fights back a bit.
Are there non-corporate executives?
No, I guess
No.
Yeah, I don't need to. I'm being
Yes. Any executive that doesn't work for a corporation.
I guess nonprofits and things.
Like, that James guy is our executive. I just joking we call him that. But
Oh, executive producers and stuff. Yeah.
so that's an executive, I guess. More deep diving into the word executive
The,
than I would ever do.
Isn't the president somehow makes executive decisions? He's not corporation unless you call him.
Well, yes, he is.
Yeah,
he,
he is now, especially.
he works for two, the shadow government of. All right, getting a little off there. Eternals. There's other notes on this. Athena. Oh my God, what a fucking waste of Laura Croft / Mrs. Smith / the greatest hacker that ever lived.
Oh, fucking
I need hacker scenes.
And then one of my friends had a character name as his Xbox name that we play all the time, and it still gets me angry. It's Zero Cool. Sorry, Louis.
Oh, stop giving me things. No, I really feel like they just wasted their character in this movie.
Hack the planet, man. Oh, this movie is.
I'm still upset when I went to programmer school.
And Operation
I-
Swordfish. That and Hackers are like the worst pieces of programming garbage I've ever seen.
I was really disappointed that that wasn't real when I got to school for it. I was like, wait, this isn't how this works? Every TV show and movie has lied to me. I was very upset when I got to school.
Are you being serious? Like, maybe you
I
are.
knew nothing about
Okay.
computers before I decided to become a computer programmer.
I guess I was just always around them, so I knew when they did it. It's like, this is just complete.
Do you know how I picked school? I wanted a job,
Yeah.
and I backtracked from a job, and I wanted to work at Honda, and I picked something in the technical range, and one of the job postings said having a computer programmer analyst degree. So I went to Georgian College for that specific thing to try and work at Honda.
Yeah, my parents just said, you're going to university. And I listened and luckily fell into the right.
Yeah, but you went there with a love. I went there with.
I found a love on my way. I got lucky.
I did not. Well, I found business when I got there, but I still never finished any of it. Anyways, I didn't mean to get that deep into it.
Executive decisions.
Right. Wow. Yeah. So, like, how do they just wasted Thena? Like, they would just waste Angelina Jolie.
This movie's a disaster almost. Every level except looking awesome and having cool fights that you forget 5 minutes after you see it.
And I felt like there was longer camera shots in this than a lot of Marvel fights. Like, there seemed to be a lot of like spanning crane shots around the fight instead of
Yeah,
cut.
I feel like that's whoever made it. That's their.
How does oh, Ryan, you got a bongo time.
Oh,
Well, I feel like I need to get it on.
no. Zach needs to catch up too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set one bongo timer.
Oh, by the way, on Fantastic Plastics last night on Twitch, one guy gave them over $1,200 while I was watching.
Wow.
That's crazy.
In like chunks of 100 to 2.
Damn. They are good.
Yeah, and I bought. Oh, maybe I told you, Sabrina a gift sub to Fantastic Plastics. We rated them at my suggestion, and then I noticed she didn't have a subscription. So I rushed to give Jeff Bezos money. I'm like, what am I doing?
Oh hell, Jeff Bezos. Bongo time for you guys. Those hash rosin gummies just get right on top of your head, eh?
Yeah, have
What was-
yummy?
Nah.
What? We both had a yummy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I ate a hash rosin gummy. Yeah.
What
They're
was that
just
stuff you were smoking yesterday on street? That was not.
that was my first bowl.
God damn you!
I just jumped right into your first bowl with that.
Because you were having
What do
trouble. You were losing your train of thought because of the
Oh.
bowl.
So bad.
Yeah.
It was relatively fun.
No matter where you go, there you are.
It's getting in my head,
Oh, I know, which is why I do it so much now, and I enjoy it so much.
and I don't know how to get rid of it. Even though I'm saying it's getting in my head is going to make it worse, but it's like I kind of have to. But it's a troll that works.
that's the point of the troll.
Yeah.
Did
I'll defeat it. I just need to figure it out.
did the knife bother you?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. What was the problem with the knife?
Did you notice the knife?
Yeah.
Like, so at the opening scene, they fight the deviants, and like they save that little boy whose dad gets eaten by the deviant, and then Xerxes walks over and picks up his little fillet knife that's made of like rock, and
At the very beginning. Of the
yeah,
movie?
then
Okay.
hands him like she turns it into like alien tech fucking knife. And it's
Yeah.
all gold and super sharp and shit. And then the next scene is her taking it's up on the billboard at what seems like Times Square in London.
Yeah.
And it's the knife that changed the history of man. I'm like, wow, just force feed they did shit, but we didn't get that by the fact that he had then built them the plow and all. Like
Yeah.
they told things twice that they didn't need to, while not telling
There was
things
so much
that they
waste.
should.
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
wasted time and too many characters. And
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not too many characters. If they would have had at least an hour more runtime and cut shit out, like why we needed a scene of her
an
taking
hour
a picture.
more of runtime? Wasn't it already 2.5?
Yeah, but this was again.
I suppose for a flagship launching of Phase 4.
No, not even that. Just look how many fucking characters there are.
That's what I mean, though.
This movie,
Like, isn't this meant to launch the careers of all these people as potentially movies for all of them?
Well, I mean, they're doing that in reverse. That is, this is not fighting.
Most of them are
And
dead.
like he flew into the sun.
I feel like they're gonna maybe even just quietly sweep this under the rug and just take elements from it that they wanted.
Nah, they'll double down.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay, good.
Well, wait, how? Like, dad flew into the sun on his own accord.
Yeah.
And why did the guy on the left want to say, "I've always wanted to clip your wings"? It's like, why? You guys always got along.
Yeah, were you not like you found out that you've done this 100 times with her?
Yeah.
When did you want to clip her? What? When did she want to? What? Why is everyone so
But it
aggressive?
sounds like a cool line for a trailer. So
Yeah.
for one of those corporate executives, say that I want that.
Yeah, so like, again, I'm not trying to say that this is Marvel's best film by any means. Oh, right, and you asked me to rank it, and I guess we got out of 10.
Like 5 or 6.
I think I'd give it 6.5
Okay.
to 7.
I'd venture into 7 range. It was fun. There was some really cool fight scenes in it. And I mean, we got a lot of lore that we have to kind of sort through as what's lie, what's real.
And are they ever going to talk about Earth seeing a giant standing in front of the planet?
Yeah.
Or the fact that like the International Space Station can now see a head and a hand coming out of Antarctica. Like what the fuck happened?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah, and
that's
now
a
there's
buried celestial. Yeah, or the
yeah,
The
similar.
merger, emergence or something.
What did you think of? What would you give it out of 10? Ryan?
Solid 6.
A solid 6.
Yeah, I mean like okay, so
If you're
like
like, I'd take her home for the night, but I wouldn't tell her.
Yeah.
all right. All right. Let's each give our number, and we'll start off with we'll go through history. So Eternals gets a 6 because it starts off with the dawn of time. Let's go to Captain America: The First Avenger. Right? Out of 10.
7.
3.
That's the first one with Steve Rogers getting the serum.
3.
4.
Next one in the chronological history of the MCU would be
Oh my God, are we going
Captain
through all of them?
Marvel. Well, just for fun, why not?
Captain Marvel out of 10.
Wait, how are you ranking?
We're doing chronological.
How would you even know that this?
It happened in 1994.
Well, then aren't you
sorry.
saying
I'll quickly answer that on my behalf, and then I'll let these guys answer that question because it's a good question. As far
in
as
Eternals?
Eternals goes, I would have made it a Disney Plus series. I would have given it a full 8 hours,
needed
if
way more
not 10
time.
hours.
Yeah.
I think they needed a half episode, and not maybe for everybody, but everybody should have gotten much more backstory. There was relationships there I would have loved seeing develop properly. Gilgamesh and Thena's relationship. It's just,
Hawkeye could have been a movie, and then that could have been the Eternals TV
yes,
show.
and that seems to be the that was said earlier by Ryan as well. And yeah, I agree. So that's what I would have done differently is I would have given it the time to gestate and develop, but then you have to go, can Marvel recoup their money by making it a streaming show? But it also could have been a hybrid, right? They could have done like 8
I'm just
episodes
thinking-
and then a 2-hour movie.
I'm not thinking like a
Oh my
corporate
God.
executive. I just want to tell good stories in the proper way.
But I'm thinking, I could think as both. And in this case, you know what I would have done differently? 8-part Marvel Disney Plus series with a 2-hour film at the end that they could bank out on after they built up. Like, you imagine if Hawkeye ended with a movie, it'd be like, we went to see Spider-Man specifically because there was a rumor that it tied into Hawkeye, and we didn't want to have to miss a week of Hawkeye.
Can you imagine if we could get a 40 to 60 minute episode per comic book issue of everything?
Ever?
Everything that comes out, yeah. Like all 600 Uncanny X-Men, all like
No,
can you imagine?
it would just be too much.
No, but if you put a lot of effort into it, because thinking of comic book, you can tell a 60-minute story if you.
Oh, like I'd watch a cartoon series like that.
I'm talking.
And it's called
30
X-Men.
million an episode
Yeah.
budget, like Game of Thrones budgets. Actually, I was at 12.
What is?
I don't know. Like I mean that'd be awesome. I just
Can you
think
imagine if we lived in a world with that?
it'd be too much. Like it'd be overload.
What if season 2?
What about it?
Oh, are you excited for that?
Yes.
I mean,
That answers
I'm
it.
excited for the I'm excited for the missing episode.
Fair enough.
There's a missing episode that didn't air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Gamora Iron Man episode.
What is the what if there?
What if Iron Man? Can I guess?
If she gets the armor?
No. If Iron
That'd be
Man,
cool.
when he goes through the portal to carry the bomb in the first Avengers, what if he gets sucked back in through like the Devil's Anus and ends up on Sakaar
And he teams up with her.
to escape Sakaar, and then together they go beat Thanos before he can get to Earth. And as they were going to forge and destroy his gauntlet, or they were going to destroy his gauntlet and forge a weapon, that's when the Watcher comes and grabs Gamora and is on shit. What's it called?
And where's Jeff Goldblum and all this?
I'm guessing, honestly, dead.
They got to bring him back.
No way, like in What If?
Oh, is Peter actually alive in Deadpool? Is there post-credit scenes?
Yes,
How does he survive?
Peter's the regular guy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does he survive?
They all do. He goes back and fixes them.
Oh, right. Deadpool goes back.
Yeah, he uses Cable's.
Time thing.
Yeah, that thing.
Is Cable the son of Scott Summers and
Yes, but not
Jean
actual
Grey.
Jean Grey. Clone Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force in her.
Yeah.
well, it's an important distinction.
Apparently, yes, but then regular Jean Grey raises him at some. I don't remember all of it, but yeah, it's really weird.
That's Cable's origin.
Yeah.
Like his birth.
Yeah.
In the future, and then he goes to like the year 3000 and lives there for a
but
like,
he suffers from
cybernetic disease that's always eating him.
always changing him into a cyborg, essentially.
So he has to focus most of his power on holding it at bay all the time. Otherwise, he'd be one of the most powerful things ever.
Right. Wow. Good memory.
He fascinated me because of that. His whole.
I kind of forgot about the whys and hows, and just remembered that he was such a good straight man play against Deadpool. And honestly, they don't get into that in the cartoon. But Cable's in a handful of at least every season, kind of, or whenever, because Cable in the cartoon is heavily tied to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Every episode, his whole goal is to go through time and kill any chance Apocalypse has.
Yeah.
To grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess No, Bishop succeeds in doing that. In the cartoon.
In Eternals, relating it to that, what a forgettable villain type things, like just these mindless CG monsters that talk a bit.
Okay,
They're like Steppenwolf from Justice League.
they spend a
Just
whole
Steppenwolf's
movie.
better.
They spend a whole movie actually developing one character. One character that I was fucking interested in seeing how they were going to go with it.
With who?
And that was the Deviant, the lead Deviant
Oh.
that ate Ajax and then gave out powers to everybody, their Messiah. Because he gave a great speech, and I'm like, oh my god, wicked! Let's go to.
He's like
this-
Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, like give this this socio-political conversation some ground to go, wicked. And then it's just like he's about to take on another Eternal Wicked. Oh no, Dad. What? Thank you for actually developing somebody and just murdering it right away.
And Angelina Jolie probably just said, "Hey, I'll be in one movie and that's it."
Well, now.
Well, and that's why they just like, you gotta kill me. I just want a big fat paycheck.
No, she wanted her own show and spin-off.
Yeah.
She asked for Marvel what they've done at her.
So then that's why she's.
They should have just killed her in the movie, I guess. Because I really wanted to see that Deviant continue on.
And in real life.
I would never suggest violence on an actual movie.
I do not want Angelina Jolie killed. But the Olsen twins probably had Bob Saget.
Oh, it's so funny. I can't believe how quickly that meme, those things started coming out. But
I mean, what other reason? What else
that's
could it
just
be?
the world that we're in today.
He's only 65. They did it for sure.
Okay, so
100%.
the Speedster. Why did we not get any real conversation about what the Speedster was or was doing? You know what I mean? Like we get when we so she was just she was just doing what? Oh crap! What was Evan Peters?
Quicksilver?
Quicksilver. She was just doing what Quicksilver did as a kid.
Sorry, Boner?
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner?
So like that's all she was. She just had this ship filled with crap.
What?
That was her whole character arc. Was stay strong to Druid, flirt twice, and then read books on a ship for 2,000 years.
But look at all the pictures. She had to fill the focus group demographic checkbox.
I don't even think it's that. I think there was a great character in that. Like
Of course, there's great character ideas behind all of them. They just didn't do.
Oh. So this led me down a path of celestial research.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, I know, like,
Not real life celestial research, but
no one. Well, I
made
mean,
up Marvel.
I unfortunately have already done all that research. But yes, made up Marvel, Eternal, and Celestial and Deviant research. So there are many Celestials. They all have varying. They all kind of have the same, like, they're super strength, super yada yada yada. They're they can't be beat. They're immortal pretty much. But they range in actual power levels for stuff on top of that. And one of the funniest list entries was the fact that they added Star-Lord. Because he's technically a Celestial.
Half, right?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like he inside of one film all of a sudden can completely control energy, can transmorph himself,
There will be something that conveniently takes away his power for majority of whatever.
Yeah, his power, as they said, was connected directly to his father, and he killed his father.
Pharaohs.
So I guess he doesn't have power. But I'm like, no, they got to bring back the whole. He's a Celestial. He still have like.
They don't have to do it.
That's very true. True enough. I have no counter.
I know they might want to distance themselves from all this Eternal stuff after.
I mean, you're right. There's a gigantic fucking Celestial in the sky, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they ignore world-shattering events from other movies and don't talk about them.
Yes, it would.
I think they're going to kind of just sweep this under the rug. I think this movie's not going to be talked about.
They swept S.H.I.E.L.D. under the rug.
Yeah.
And they seem to inevitable. Well, they might not.
And Deadpool's like he's off his own thing. Fantastic Four, X-Men are off on their own thing. Like these things are separate from.
No, all of those are different in different ways.
They don't talk to each other. They don't guest star in each other's shows. They don't mention each other.
Well, yeah, because you're talking about MCU and non-MCU.
Yeah, so they can. What I'm
But
saying is, it's
Eternals-
possible that they could just shut.
But they can't because those properties weren't owned by them and they aren't connected to them right now. This isn't.
We'll see if they follow up with it.
They fucking mentioned Thanos in this. They
Yeah.
talk about the Avengers.
Oh, I know, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is they can
Oh.
put it in the memory hole.
More interesting film: Icarus joining the Avengers. I can go lead them. Yes. Okay. What? Let's see that movie.
I just want to see the Bollywood.
Really, I want to see. Like, that would have been a great.
Oh,
film.
and didn't the cameraman die as well?
No, he left to go be. He left.
Okay, so he's still.
Yeah.
I was.
Theron is still alive. Yes. As far as we know.
I was in the other room playing a game where I'm trying to survive in a medieval setting. Cooking my own food.
But we'll not cook at home.
No. It'll be McDonald's tonight or
I think overall this film is giving us another layer, and a lot. Like I don't think Marvel's going to shy away from this. I think they're going to double down to, hey, we needed to tell you a bunch of story, and we did, and now we can expand into other things that are coming.
Well, let's see how many of these faces we see.
Well, I mean, again, 1, 2, 3, 4 are dead.
Speaking of which, I was watching Achilles. Like we watched, I don't know, 8 episodes of The Office. It felt like, which is fine. Like I'm not complaining. But just the one where Michael Scott brings the 2 Asian waitresses to the Christmas party, and he can't tell them apart, and then he ends up marking one with a marker on the arm. The show, man. Like,
It's I love The Office because of Jim and Dwight and Pam and all of the other characters but Michael. I just can't.
he's always been kind of my favorite.
Awkward humor hurts me inside.
It's cringy. He's so awful. He's so terrible.
Ryan, what's your favorite stoner about you? Inquiring minds want to know.
Pringles, meat sticks, and a nice pop like Coke.
Oh my god, I would love that right now. That would be perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
this one?
Sour
Oh,
keys, cherry blasters.
Yeah, Ryan loves cherry blasters. I like. Well, see, my problem is I kind of like having it all. Like, I want a little bit of each. So I'm like, all right, let's grab some chocolate covered peanuts. Let's grab some of this. Grab some of that. I like barbecue chips. I want everything in the store. But I also like to make more meal-like stuff. So like tonight, I'm gonna do a pan, like a butter basted pasta with some dill after everyone moves. I've seen Office Space hundreds of times. Have you ever seen Office Space?
On my coffee table at home, I have a red swing line stapler.
That's right, you do. You've obviously seen Office Space.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's like been even picked
Pretty sure you
before
picked
the
it,
show was a show. Didn't get mad at you for them picking a 25-year-old movie.
Because it wasn't a pattern yet.
I like. Office Space is just a brilliant film. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I know another movie that is still
I
consistent.
feel like I've kind of even lived it, going from the corporate world to not construction, but I've come to his awakening.
I'm actually surprised at the amount of normal people that didn't go in corporate America that like it. But I guess the movie speaks to anybody that gets stuck in the droves of.
They
doing the
get
same thing.
kids, and that's what sticks. Now they got bills to pay, and they can't. I don't have that. So.
No, I mean, why normal people like this movie so much? The like people that haven't been to into corporate America.
Oh
that
yes,
we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've had to interact with the people where you're like, if you leave your coffee mug in there, people like the whole office, like there's a memo that comes out
Thank
if you don't
goodness
watch
that
your
wasn't
coffee.
like
Yeah, so corporate America is a bad place.
I lived in a nice little warm corner. But it certainly reared its head more and more over the years. To the point where
I don't know. I got to travel around the world and shit, but I mean, I still got to see the bad side of corporate America, so I'm not complaining too much.
Did you get to keep all the points on a credit card? Or did you just not do it?
Yes, depending on what, where, and how. It just all depended. I didn't get to book a lot of my stuff, so I got points when I got there if I had the right card for wherever we were going, but my boss got points in. Which started because I didn't realize it right away that's why he was booking my bigger flights. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're even taking it. So anyway, I don't want to. No, let's talk about Good Parent. What did you like about Good Parent?
Hey, we're talking about Office Space and
Oh yeah, this is talking about our time in corporate America again. Oh, you mean like all those good hacker movies from the 90s that all of a sudden you can steal yeah. How did you feel about that part? The actual program.
In which?
In Office Space.
It makes sense what he was saying. Like just in the, I don't think
the
I don't
Superman 4 plot.
But if you find a rounding error and you put it in an account, I mean, I see what he's saying. Where yeah, that's where you could hide. You remember these movies so much better than I do. It's been years since I've seen it. What was the problem? Why did they freak out and not try to back out?
I don't think they didn't count on scale of magnitude and how large and how quickly the account would grow.
But
so
even still, it shouldn't matter because it's a rounding error. No one's going to know it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, I never understood why they got upset, but I mean, like in one weekend, in one night or something like that, it was like $3 million.
I guess if they're doing it from a big bank, I mean, that would be fractions of a percent of what they do.
I always approve as much flair as humanly possible. That's actually the back wall's got a ton of flair. Jennifer.
Flair has been a defining force in my head since it was given a name in that movie of this blind allegiance of symbols to a corporate entity to show your enthusiasm for something you don't actually want to do.
That shirt has like 30 layers of iron.
Right? Oh, I know. And I was
He
not going to
bought
wear
it
it.
from an evil corporation while wearing it to mimic an
I
evil
bought it from a
corporation.
company like you that had a website and they just knocked stuff off.
Oh, cool. Well, that's even better then. Perfect.
Probably a Chinese company, but whatever.
So you haven't even started season 4 yet.
I'm
You said
almost-
you're just watching reviews and like.
No,
rankings.
that's the plan. I'll get to. I'm almost done season 1. I'm trying, man, but
We started at the same time, and I went slow for a long time.
this survival game is really good and cool.
I have finished another series that he suggested that he has not even done.
And even specifically where I suggested it without having seen season 4, and then he watched the whole series before I could even get to season 4.
Twice.
In that exact way.
And he still has to watch The Good Place, which is never going to happen.
Binging for me is like 2 or 3 episodes or something a day.
I can handle 2 or 3 episodes a day. That's a decent binge schedule.
I've not been binging.
Yeah, I know. And I get it. Like, I binge differently because I don't sleep much, and my sleep is binging sometimes.
I woke up so late today.
Yeah, I was with your bass player for a little bit this afternoon.
Actually, it worked out, but I intended to be at his place. By the
Did
time.
you make a bunch of pretty sounds?
Yeah.
That's wicked. So what did you like about Eternals? Let's try and find some positives.
The Bollywood star is Gamer. That was about it.
Those are the only 2 plus points, Ryan. What were your favorite parts of Eternals? What did you like the most? He's thinking hard.
Because he didn't like anything.
He did. We were talking about it earlier.
No, yeah, like I just wish they would have been more into the stories. What's gonna like
The
what
Chinese-
happened in the 500 years that they went off on their own? Like probably had families. Like they could have incorporated Apocalypse as their son, or whatever, and that's how the deviants were born. Thanos.
Like, think of all the cool stuff Preacher did with time, Cassidy's kid and stuff. Like, they could have done more of that with Eternals.
Did you finish Preacher?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So good.
That time.
And then, I have a graphic for that now. But I don't have a flashing graphic because I haven't sent it to Ryan.
Yeah.
And remember, Thanos was right.
That's so much Mysterio.
And my points on what was good about it was there was some pretty fun fight scenes. There was a lot less cutting. This one actually seemed to have a bit more of a dark overtone to it versus just being bright and shiny all the time. And like, I'm not saying they took a whole bunch of chances with camera shading, but it wasn't just always.
It still
bright
felt
and shiny.
like it did feel a bit bright and shiny to me, to be honest.
In
It was the
parts.
outfits
And then there was,
stuff.
of course, a ton of gold flaring.
I mean, they kind of look like the Power Rangers.
Yeah, sorry, it does get a little cold down here.
Yeah,
Speaking of which. I'm not cold.
We gotta get Ryan a nice hoodie for down here.
We'll fall asleep in it. I think he's getting close.
Oh, we're definitely gonna lose Ryan in a minute.
After that dab.
And of course, no one's imprisoned here at any point. If Ryan wishes to head out, we will continue on.
No, he's stuck here.
All right, you're stuck here. James likes when we fall asleep. But yeah, there were some good points in here, and I think I'd like to see an expanded story. And it actually felt like there was a larger story in there than what they cut it down to. Like they filmed more. It felt like in it. Which obviously they always do. But where does it leave us? Okay, that's usually Hi, we gotta get trying to get to the next point, which is where did this film leave us? And there's some things left pretty big.
Thanos' brother shows up with his own little portal making. Yeah. What is the name of the? It's the one from Shakespeare. From A Midsummer's Night. That's the name.
Pan? I don't know if
Yeah.
this is Pan.
Yeah, it's Pan.
Yeah, okay.
Or close to. But anyways, we're gonna call it Pan for right now.
Well, Pan's like the mythological satire, half goat,
Yeah,
two-legged thing.
yeah, and this one I'm pretty sure it's Pan.
Usually it's associated with chaos or something like that, or
Yeah, this one just gets drunk and nice that it was Patton Oswalt.
that's who it fucking was. I love Pan, man. Goddamn.
Oh, love Pat. Does a great job. And he did such a great job as MODOK.
I'm sure you've seen a Star Wars filibuster from Parks and Rec.
No. Have you seen MODOK?
Yeah, of course, but man,
Oh, wicked.
this
Used to
thing
be behind
is
all that
like
stuff.
more than 10 years old. It's
I didn't watch
before-
Park and Rec. Parks and
No,
Rec.
I know, but it just made the rounds on the internet. It went viral because it got canceled before it got great, and don't want to watch those 7 episodes that everyone raves about.
Serenity was awesome. Firefly was good.
Everything I've heard says it's one of the best things ever written, which is why I also don't want to watch it because it died early, and
I mean, I'm not gonna say one of the best things ever written, but it was good, and it was.
the fan base is just gaga over it.
Yeah. But I mean, I also don't think Star Trek is one of the greatest things ever written.
Well, you're wrong about that.
Well, there you go. And that's why I mean, like, yes, Firefly. I just not my favorite property. Where you said a Firefly.
I watched a few episodes back in the day, I remember, but I don't know, I guess because it wasn't very long, I didn't really get into it.
Yeah. So that's probably why I don't think it's like so all this lead up for nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I saw the movie first. I think I saw Serenity first. And Serenity's actually like it was a good movie.
I've heard. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we apparently don't know a lot about Firefly, and I don't remember it. Although I'm sure if I sat here and really thought about it, but it was a long time ago when I watched it.
And I've seen rumors over the years, and they always talk about exactly what this. Why isn't it redone? Why isn't it remastered? Continued? And
I mean, because
it's just never gotten legs under for whatever reason.
I mean, everybody involved has moved on. It's taken too long. They have to restart, and I don't know. Like, I feel like the actors brought a lot to the table of who the characters.
And the dark, gritty world they portrayed, everyone's done. Like it was
Yeah.
a novel at the time, but now everyone's done it. So
Yeah, the post. Yeah,
it's like the Matrix. They'd have to pull off something again, great, and you can't. All in some command.
I have restarted the Matrix like 4 times and not finished it. Yeah,
The new one?
Yeah.
There's still one.
I'd like to see what they do overall.
And the Animatrix. Animatrix counts too.
I mean, I think a modern Firefly would still work. People would still want to see it.
Han shot first.
Mhm.
Han shot first. In the bar with Greedo.
Originally, yes.
Yeah, this is a huge. You don't know this. Is
Well, yeah, of course I do. But I mean, I'm just gonna go off the original. On shot first.
And it always should be that way.
Yeah.
And man, what a disappointing thing with all the things he added, where it's like, oh, I needed an extra one of those beasts in the background. What? Like that's what you changed this for? Ooh, R2's walking close to the screen, where he's got legs in some scene. Okay,
Yeah.
so dumb. None of it added anything to the movie. It just stood out like a sore thumb and made it worse.
He just tinkered a lot.
But not even in good ways. It's like a madman that just. I think it's like Homer when he designed the car. Oh, I think it's extra thing here.
That depends on where you stand on the sativa indica conversation. Some people believe that is a true difference. And honestly, we grow most of it the same now. Everything's with cross genetic. So I mean, the original sativa and indica come from where they were grown. The sativas were grown in a high light, low humidity area, usually on the edge of the rainforest into the desert.
Yes.
Whereas indicas were typically grown in rainforesty areas with lots of humidity and a little less light, so they grew large fan leaves or large palm leaves that would collect a lot of light, and smaller root structures because they didn't need drink from the land as much because there was an abundance of water. Whereas the ones on the edge of the would be much smaller leaves because there was more sunlight. And yeah, so
no, because
on those things, no, not really. We don't grow this way.
I'll get it.
What's wrong?
Oh, we're gonna do a dab, but
He wants you to do his stuff.
I said Pearson is probably gonna give me a chunk.
Of course he was. He's completely irresponsible with all extracts. And I love him for it. As far as the effects of what we currently call those things, I mean, for the most part, I look at THC levels and other levels if they're measured. If not, I really can't. It's hard pressed to find the strain dominant things that, you know, this makes you do this makes you do that. For me personally, do you guys find a genuine difference between indicas and sativas, or you just smoke what you get?
Just smoke it. I've never noticed the difference of any named anything.
Yeah. I find the number one difference in what happens is what you do right after you get high. If you sit down right after you get high and do nothing, you're probably going to just have to pull that down.
That's what I was getting to now. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I sit on those. That's where I sit on the sativa indica thing. But I think a strain out of the OCS right now that is pretty big as a sativa is the the Sun-Kissed OG.
How do I turn this off? Is that enough? I just want to drop some in and vaporize it.
I was doing the hot start.
It's always my favorite. Thank you.
And we're going to refill that. As for all the strains we use here, they're not really right now. These are all hybrid quad, fucking crazy looking strains. I'm trying to burn myself. Oh yeah, so those are the things I definitely say are different. Is what you're doing, which extract you're doing, how flower affects you. So like dabs pretty much, you know, straight to the top of your head. Same with a lot of the other insane extracts. Whereas hash, I've always found, well, you say it this way: oil was pure body, flower was pure head, and then hash was the combination of the two. But now with extracts, they were pretty heady. I may even say it every once in a while, but yes, I do correct myself usually and say strain. Strand is something you do with fibers. As you put them together, you create a strand. You okay over there, Evil Corp? All right, Zach is still coughing off that dab.
He Jedi himself.
As one likes to do. In fact, I might even do a dab right now as well, because why not? What do I want to hit? You know what? Since we're all doing shatter, I will do some hemp. So this comes from our friends at Chronic Connection. They're curators of fine cannabis products as well. Put my little ball up on there. I'm not doing massive dabs tonight. I want to be able to have a conversation still. So yeah, I'm gonna hit some Pem Pepper and Pink, and Pem is Pineapple Express Meds. Now we did just have a conversation. I was talking to another channel, 420 Esesh, and we were talking. I was having a whole debate about packaging and marketing inside the legal and illegal cannabis world. And I mean, Pineapple Express Meds, I feel like that's not going after the strain, that's going after the movie. And in that, listen, they're great extracts. I just think we need to stay away from just renaming things after current things.
Oh my goodness. I'm a mess.
No matter where you go, there you are.
We really do love that.
Mainstream Rich.
Yes, the original strain. Wow, I said strain after that. Yeah, the original strain. The movie made it popular.
I was going to put Superbad on the other day.
Great film.
Kind of related to those two.
You relate to that?
I relate those two together. No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't relate to either of them. But.
I'm like, I can't see you running away from the cops with bags full of booze in the middle of the night at teenage years.
Oh, I love is it McCool? What's his name?
Yeah, Nicole.
McCool. Get a kick out of that guy.
Oh no, McLovin.
McLovin, that's it.
I actually know somebody with the last name Nicole. That's a
Yeah, I
real
think
last name.
yeah, it's in the phone.
That guy was cool too.
How could he not be?
Yeah, I right. Like, could you imagine just not living up to that name? Deep breath there. How you doing there, Ryan?
You're off camera, Ryan.
What?
You're
Too
off
far.
camera.
Oh.
There you go. Well, my co-hosts are mangled,
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
which is a fantastic thing. That's what we're here to do. So where does this leave us? We were just about to start talking about the post-credit scenes.
Where are we now?
Yes. Well, that's why we got into talking about trying to think of the name of the goat guy. So that leaves us with the Eternals now going out to
Thought it was fish.
look for other Eternals.
Now we're talking. Are you goat or are you fish? I'm so glad you brought that up.
Almost made it to the other evening. Wait to see what
Somebody made like a
Like, I love when you bring up Fantastic Plastics and Superman and those good channels, but like, this dude's just
goat
crazy.
versus fish. Yeah, he is. Oh, he's such a marketer. Yeah.
But the Ebony Blade, the final scene, the spoilers for that.
So goat?
Jesus Christ.
There's like this 8-minute song somebody made. They like freestyled over it. I've listened to it like 20 times. And then he plays it in the background of his stream because he loves it because it's a good
And
song.
one of your all-time favorite shows. You can't even get through replays.
Because it's mindless background noise so I can walk around my house.
I'm just bugging you.
Go for fish.
But we gotta hear Blade's voice, which I know is just like this is what we need at the end of it, a movie, not not a.
Wait, we heard Blade's voice?
Yeah,
Where?
at the last thing you hear
So
where?
when Dane Whitman is reaching for the ebony blade, you can see the surface of the ebony blade. Because the ebony blade sort of works like a symbiote.
Oh, so I don't know what any of that stuff was. That's the
Just the
sword
post credit scene.
Yeah,
it looks like
correct.
water on the blade, right?
Yeah.
What is that blade?
So that blade is the ebony blade.
Yeah.
It kind of works like a symbiote. So it kind of
Is he Moon
combines.
Knight now?
No. That's
No,
a different
what's
character
the
entirely.
difference?
He's going to be the Black Knight.
Black Knight.
Totally different character completely, but they
Black
have the
Knight,
same
yeah.
word in there.
Same name. Yeah, Black Knight is who that character is. And as he's about to touch the blade, because as soon as you touch the blade, you're
Not
gonna-
Nightcrawler.
you hear someone saying, "Are you sure you're ready for that?"
Not
And
Night
it's the actor's voice
Not
that's going to
Nighthawk.
be playing Blade, but you can kind of tell. Yeah, so yeah, that's the final post-credit scene, and I'm really excited for the Ebony Blade because it's important.
And where are we going to see that next? With what property?
Thor, I'm guessing, or Blade. Blade's voice. So I'm guessing Whitman and his family is going to be tied to vampire hunting.
It's not Nightwing.
Well, no, it's not a Batman character.
Okay.
It's
Just
in a
making
post
sure.
credit scene for Marvel. What did you think of the post credit scenes? So they're out hunting Eternals with Thanos' brother, confirming that Thanos is an Eternal but not a deviant because he didn't look like those other things.
Yeah.
I think that's how they'll handle that, though, is that they're all because the Eternals. That's what I was trying to say when you're like, no, of course I didn't notice that detail.
Yeah.
Was that every Eternal is going to look like the creatures that are on the planet. So every time they let the planet evolve, and then they send Eternals down. So he models each Eternal after
The planet they're going to.
yeah. So Thanos.
Looks like what he must his planet looks
The last time he was there, but because they wouldn't listen to him, they killed themselves off before the Celestial could grow. Or maybe that's why the planet's all fucked up and off its axis and stuff, because it grew so much and he wanted to get rid of 50%. Oh my god, that is the implication of Thanos' plan. He was trying to stop a Celestial. Like he was trying to stop all the Celestials.
Well, he just wanted to get rid of 50%. You're saying he had an ulterior plan?
Yeah, because what actually happened to his planet was a Celestial blew out of it and became attached to the people. Thoughts?
That makes sense. That could be a whole background story.
Listen, Thanos was supposed to take over the world with the gauntlet because of death. Because he's in love with someone. It made a hell of a lot more sense that he was trying to present death with all of this mayhem and death all at once as a
I mean, that sounds good and it makes sense and it would make a great story. But I think what we've seen since WandaVision, you have all these brilliant ideas of how it could work in with the comics and stories, and then they just don't do it.
they do it a lot. That's okay. So we talked about this the other day. My track record really the only thing I got really, really wrong was Mephisto.
Yeah.
I've been fairly dead on with, although thankfully there isn't a lot of record, and now there is, so we'll see. But I've been typically pretty decent with my theorized. I'm trying to think of where I've been really wrong.
But, like, for instance,
Mephisto's a huge example.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier seems like it's just a separate entity that's not tying into anything. What have they introduced? We're still waiting for it.
Are you excited for the Flashpoint with DC coming?
Is that the Flash movie?
Yeah, in February.
Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, do
Or
I need
Flashpoint.
to have seen some stuff beforehand to
Just the
have a
current
sense?
DC stuff and every Batman movie ever made.
So yes, a lot of stuff.
Well, at least the Michael Keaton Batmans.
For Flashpoint?
Yeah.
Really? They're doing a
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It's so true. The
Or they're
multiverse is
fucking with
everywhere
us. And okay, so there's two options. The one option is that Batman is going to take the place of
now. How is
what's Bruce Wayne's father's name? Thomas Wayne.
Mr. Wayne.
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
So in one comic book series, in the Flashpoint, when they do this, he goes back in time. He goes through to a new universe like Flash does, and he meets Batman, but it's not Batman, Bruce Wayne. It's that night his son and wife was murdered, and Thomas took up the Bat mantle and became Batman. So he's much older by the time Flash meets him.
So he got scared by a cave of bats as well.
Apparently. Okay, we don't. Okay, listen, it just
I know. He's Batman. So his dad would be Batman too, of course.
Of course, well, if he lost the exact same person, Mr. Wayne. Thomas Wayne, yes.
Yes, exactly. Same
Yeah,
answer.
makes sense.
But when Thomas Wayne is Batman, Flash comes and like he fucks up something and he ends up there and Thomas helps him get back and sends him with a note that saves everything. So the two theories are that either they're just screwing with us and they're getting Keaton to come in to be Thomas Wayne, and it's just a ha 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 ha, which also what they do. Like that means they've learned something from Marvel.
Can you imagine if they got like Joaquin Phoenix and Jared Leto and a whole bunch of Jokers? Like
I really
even
thought you were
Jack
about to
Nicholson.
say Heath Ledger.
CG Heath Ledger. Oh, speaking of which, you mentioned Paul Walker wasn't in the later Fast and the Furious movie, but I'm pretty sure he was. Just CG'd in for
No.
seats or something. No? I
I
swear.
there are scenes where his brother played him in the CG, but that's only in the last movie to complete the scenes and the tribute scene of them driving away. Past
I'm
that,
thinking of the tribute scene.
but past that, no. And while they're,
I heard he's going to star in one of them.
I keep hearing that too, and I'm like, all right, sure, let's see.
No,
how that
yeah,
goes.
so for real, right? Like
I've heard the rumor, but they could just be screwing with us.
Well, they went to space, so
They sent the Fiero to space.
we need
Yes.
to come up with a tradition for when this happens.
When Ryan falls asleep
Or
on
like
us.
a graphic.
Yeah, maybe James will make it some point. I'll have
Just
to.
arrows for you.
We just need a.
Or do the
Ryan,
Zeds.
you should have to make your own graphic for when you fall asleep for when we put up on the screen.
A floating set. Floating set.
Just too much for Ryan. He needs a nap. What were we just talking about?
All the Batmans and Jokers.
Oh, right. So what Flashpoint's going to be? Yeah. So the second theory is that
And Mark
he
Hamill.
is his version of Batman, and he's going to be much older because that Batman took place a long time ago. So he'll be like old man Batman, and then he'll help Flash go back. Like Michael Keaton didn't seem to be the same level of. Like he had all the stuff, but didn't seem like he knew how to make it. You know what I mean? He had all the toys, but I didn't believe Michael Keaton was making it. I felt like Alfred was.
Yeah. Man, I was so excited about those movies as a kid.
What do you think Michael Keaton's going to be in Flashpoint, right?
I think he's going to
You
be.
brought it up.
He's going to be Vulture.
What?
What do you think Michael Keaton's going to be? Is he going to be? Are they just screwing with us, and he's going to be Thomas Wayne?
He's going to go through the multiverse and become Vulture.
Or is he going to be
What if
old
there
man
is?
Bruce? What do you
Yeah,
think?
probably old man Bruce. I mean, so.
So you think he's coming back to play his own his original character, or do you think he?
Just cameo probably.
Oh no! If they're doing Flashpoint, he's a decent role.
Okay.
So because like the role is the original character that's going to play that part is that they're going to talk to is Thomas Wayne.
Hmm.
So that's why the only reason I think that maybe they might pull a switcheroo and be like, ha ha ha. Which I mean that means they learned something from Marvel. Like don't take it too seriously, relax a little.
His daughter's statement. Spider-Man.
Well, that's a big question now too, because that dude's in jail and originally knew who Spider-Man was, and now does he not know?
Doesn't Doctor Strange's spell make everyone forget?
Well, yeah. So I guess that just means he knows Spider-Man caught him. He just doesn't know who
he just
Spider-Man.
doesn't
Yeah,
know
And that's the part that I keep having a hard time with is, oh no, now they just forget their interactions with Spider-Man. But he obviously didn't actually erase physical documents or anything like that. Just the internet, apparently.
Well, you would
But
think.
she still has her necklace.
What's the significance of the necklace again?
It's the Black Dahlia necklace that he has custom made in France, or to give her in France.
On the
That
school
gets
trip?
broken, yeah, on the school trip that he gives to her, but it's all broken, and she still has it at the end in the post-credit scene.
There's a lot of practicality questions with the Doctor Strange spell. So I think we're just supposed to go, okay.
No, but I think that's going to come undone.
Yeah, but not because of the details of DMV records that might show.
No.
Peter
Like,
Parker.
I'm not worried about that stuff specifically. I think it's more. Well, they actually think about this shit, which is amazing now because, well, it's our fault. That's why they think about this. It's actually our fault. they go out there and hire some of the best of those out there that do this much better than we do. We're just stoners on top.
Because you don't keep up with the World of Warcraft world. This is quite a while ago now, but there was this guy at one of the
I
BlizzCons.
implicitly hate Blizzard.
Yeah,
They're so predatory.
Oh, they are now, yeah. But this story is about someone,
Well, I'm just mad.
the type of nerd that digs into deep details. And at BlizzCon, he points out, oh, Grafthar Odinhammer or whatever in this story has got a hammer or whatever, and in this one he doesn't. So where's the discrepancy? And they're like, okay, you got us, yeah. And
Thanks for finding the hole.
there's a character in the game now, and he's known as Red Shirt Guy. He's used in memes because there's video of him, and he's nerdy and says it in a weird way. Like it's almost like a Simpsons skit. In real life. And there's a character in the game now after him. It's called Fact Checker, and
Comic book guy is representative of something that's been alive since Star Wars.
yeah, this is a comic book guy of his own. But he shows up at BlizzCons every year, and hopefully they left him alone in his hotel room and didn't prey on him there. But yeah, Blizzard's just fallen apart from all the horrible shit that went on in there.
Oh wow. I really enjoy World of Warcraft. I don't understand why you can't just buy it.
Because it's cracked and they want you to pay every month like I did for 3 years. And there's a bill that keeps track of everything you've given through their site. I've spent like $3 or $4 grand just through the digital, buying the subscriptions and packs, and
See,
let alone all the merchandise and extra stuff I spent outside the game.
I think that's now going to be how I pick games. I'm like, all right, how much money can you spend past just buying the game? And like Back 4 Blood's already offering stuff in subscription based. Like, what the hell happened? This is just supposed to be a game to play.
You've been out of the scene for a long time. It's I say gradually, not really. It's just become that. Yeah, it's that's what it is now. Even if they don't offer service, they just do it anyway.
So are you good being publicly outed? If I say the name?
What's that?
No, your handle at World of Warcraft.
Oh, no one's gonna know that.
Yeah, so I always joke about it, but like you were geek famous for a little while, on World of
There's
Warcraft.
very little record in Google. The internet forgets stuff like that.
And
Disappears on Google.
I forget what I was going to say about that, but like, yeah. So you being able to play with you and being able to play with like Corey, who both are very experienced players, and especially being able to play with you, and then like I got a boost just being able to like, hey, just jump on this thing.
I'm
We're
sorry,
going to go over
Corey
here.
was still attached.
Sure, but I mean, for me to go play with him, he at least had nearly maxed out characters.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like I was still playing like level 30 or 50 or whatever.
but he was the guys I love to use to torment because they didn't always do.
And so when I got to, do we leave those in or?
What's the second one? Oh, that one. Yeah, I don't know. That's still, we've seen that kind of weird.
Confuses
boxing
us a couple of times.
See, we need a graphic to.
How you doing, bud? Too tired? Too tired or too high?
Well,
A little bit of both, all right. And hey, no one ever drives and does anything dangerous afterwards if they can. Zach has slept on my couch till 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
4 in the morning. Ryan has done similar.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so being able to play with you guys expanded it for me quicker and gave me a handful of weapons and a handful of coin and so on and so forth. And gave me a better understanding of and you showing like Kevin, here's how you can just grind the game if you want to. And I'm like, oh shit, I want to do this. So like just filling up my thing with quests. I'd love like that's what I do in Fallout. I quest for 8 hours.
Have you been playing more?
No, because the fucking monitor is impossible to play with. And I just haven't taken the time to, but I will. Probably over the weekend.
You can have the keyboard here, and
my keyboard just died.
Well, that sucks. I have a million keyboards. Do you want one?
I definitely needed. I thought I had one down here, but
Yeah, what? They're all like, they're so old. I bet you they didn't work anymore. They're like the old PS ones. But and adapters for this.
no, I'll just order a $8. I have another wireless one that we were using, and then I have the one on the other control station, and then I have another just regular.
I literally have like 10.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of USB and at least 2 Bluetooth. I really enjoyed the game, but again, I wish I would have at least known I was paying for it, or realized I was paying for it and played that whole time. Instead
Oh,
of
you
just
forgot. I forgot.
Yeah,
Paid for
like
a month
6 months. 6 months at the highest price. Like if I was going to pay for 6 months, I would have paid for the cheapest price, which was a year.
It would have been $9 a month. Well, $9.99.
Oh, that's if you paid like 2 years. No, it
That's
wasn't.
if you do
That was
6
like
month chunks at a time.
it was 16. It was 14, 16, or 18.
I did it for 3 years. This is what I used to
Oh, wow.
get started.
I just paid full price at $18.99 a month, and it bothered me, and now I kind of want to go back and play it. So it pisses me off even more.
Oh, don't worry. They get way more out of me.
But this is why people should use those credit cards that you can be like, hey.
Oh, but no one likes this expansion. It's one of the worst. Shadowlands right now. And it's the first one I've never owned. First time. Oh my god.
I don't know if I notice or care. Like, there's still going to be grinding quests. I don't like interacting with other people on it unless I'm going to do shit with you.
Oh yeah, they just said that they ruined everything about it.
Again, being my limited level of play, I probably wouldn't notice the damage. But I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe if we get too much in a lull, I'll convince you to sign on for a month or two, and I will too.
I'm not feeling that itch at all anymore for it.
No?
No, but they're due to announce another expansion at some point. That's always a fresh chance at greatness or terribleness. So it changes every 2 years.
I never thought about actually streaming any of my play either while I was on.
Yeah. Totally.
I haven't figured out how to stream with. I guess I could just go to screen share.
You need, if your computer's struggling to run a game, streaming on top adds a lot.
And Fallout's weird because you can't
Oh,
control anything else while you're playing it. Like, even if I try and get out of it, it just does that freezing things. Yeah. And I hate programs that.
You almost need a second computer to stream. You take the signal from your game and then you run it through over some other computer.
Oh, okay. Which I guess I technically can do because we do have another box for that.
Doesn't that work? That makes it. Then, yeah.
And I just brought down another desk to clean up down here for right now and make it a little more accessible and do some moving. You know what? I think I waited and I went in thinking it was going to be garbage. So Eternals turned out to be a pretty good movie. The bar was lowered. I said, hey, man, like, Spider-Man was satisfying.
And what'd you give it? 6.5? All right, well.
I said ranging on 7.
It's just so forgettable to me. And just, I kind of remember the end credit scenes. It's like that's all I kind of needed to take away from this.
I feel like I took a lot more away from it.
And that I like the Bollywood actor.
I hope they expand on some of what they built. Like I want to see them. I want to see them go to other planets and see new creatures and beings. And like I said, like they'll go to a planet where people look like Gamora, and that's what all the Eternals will look like there. I mean, then we got to get into the High Evolutionary, which is connected to all of that. Which
Is that something that was mentioned in the movie?
No,
But they
but
probably won't talk about it.
but it's where Rocket was made, and they've already rumored that we're going to touch on that. Oh, Captain Specs. Is that?
Yeah, in Eternals.
See, that's the thing. I think they had a better story deep in there. I think they just needed more time to tell all of it. And I think, but it's not like Marvel shies away from 3-hour epics and 3.5-hour films now. Like,
There were some cheesy lines though where I was thinking about what they would do like alone on a soundstage. We have to drain our power is draining, and it's like, yeah, I've seen you in great movies and stuff. But
brainstorm. So someone had to say we should call this the brainstorm.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, you read comics. They say that shit all the time. So you have to be prepared to be to that level of
it just felt clinical and not like natural. They didn't capture the best takes or set it in the right way.
Yeah, I guess Ryan agrees with you. Although he did say he enjoyed it a lot. Like I found it to be very fun, and I feel like there's a
But he
world
gave
being
it a
built.
6, right?
Yeah, you gave it a what?
5 or 6.
All right, let's finish the list. Even though if he's fallen asleep, if he wakes back up, we'll talk. We'll ask him to go. So, where were you ranking Captain Marvel?
In terms of a movie,
Yeah, where out of 10?
6 or 7. That's how I would say.
Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
You often say how much you hate that film.
No, I make fun of Brie
Okay.
Larson.
I didn't realize you enjoyed the movie though. So that's a
Oh, in
relatively
terms
high
of
rating.
like, would I rather watch it than Eternals? Yeah, for sure.
Way lower, yeah. Like, I mean, Captain Marvel probably sits at like a 4.5 or 5.
Not a 7. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What is next chronologically would be Iron Man.
I think the first one seemed great at the time. I heard it doesn't hold up, but you rewatch this thing.
I think the first one still holds up. Iron Man's a fucking legend. I am Iron Man, and if the 2 times it's been said is still 2 of the most impactful lines in all of the MCU.
Which are
The 2 times he said I am Iron Man.
oh, right.
Because in one he opened
See,
up
I just
to,
can't now think of all the spoofs.
We,
It's so iconic; it's become a joke.
I see. To me, it felt like that moment was: are they going to go with hidden identities that we have to follow, or are they going to be? We're all wide open. The wide open was what I was hoping for, and I like that. 9. Yes.
For Iron Man, I was kind of thinking maybe that and it was the first really good superhero movie.
Yes.
Well, I guess X-Men kind of had some good ones.
It was the new standard for superhero movies.
Yeah.
It started a new era. That doesn't mean the other ones weren't great and we didn't enjoy them. It just simply means that there was
It's
a
like,
new
wow,
way
holy
to do
shit, you can do it this good.
it. Not that we're always just like we've never just sat down and ranked these before. For
I
any
feel like
one.
Winter Soldier was kind of like that too. Like Captain kicking ass on the boat. You're like, holy crap! I haven't seen. Like that's the way a superhero would move. There's just so many good things out of
Winter Soldier's grown on me in rewatches of the entire universe, but it's still nowhere near up in my higher list. Like really, Civil War is a much higher up on it, but I don't know. There was just parts that felt very, very forced.
Yeah, and it keeps getting referenced to time
great parts.
travel.
Great. I'm not saying there isn't great parts of it. Just, I mean,
Yeah,
also
Hydra, when he says that.
that's not until the Avengers movie.
It's the elevator scene, but it's referenced again because
So awesome. Different elevator.
Wasn't it the same scene he just traveled through time?
It's just a fun
Callback.
callback to a different time.
Well, I'm going to pretend it's the same.
No, one's in Stark Tower. The other was at
Mandela effect. Mulligan.
no, but it is referencing it, and it's actually referencing a great moment in the comic book. Well, not a great moment, a funny moment in the comic book that kind of got retconned again. Was Cap was a Hydra agent. Yeah, Stark Tower. But Stark Tower is where he gets the scepter and says "Hail Hydra." It's at Shield, like the building that they blow up with the helicarriers that he gets. He fights the guys.
Well, I had assumed it was the same
It is not.
because I don't pay attention enough.
A lot of the same guys though.
And that's what threw me off. Well, it made me think it's the same thing. I feel like there's been other references to that elevator scene, though. Which is still one of the best.
Oh, great scene again. Yeah. All right. So where would you rate? Well, that one's. Well, I was gonna say Thor next.
You're going chronologically?
Well, Thor.
Which Thor? I don't even remember the first two.
All of these happen like in the same week, sort of. Thor is.
And Ocean.
You don't remember the first Thor? He's about to become king. His brother stages a little invasion with the Frost Giants.
I just want to say, though, I feel
There you
safe
go.
making assumptions about Marvel lore because the stakes aren't that high if I'm wrong.
Not
It's
at all.
fun.
There's no stakes.
Exactly.
Yeah. it's-
Except my credibility as a Marvel talker person. Man, I am high.
Your credibility isn't a physics degree, not your direct Marvel knowledge. Just your willingness to sit and talk about it. We are no experts on anything, and I'm trying to just remember half of this stuff.
Yeah, Thor 2 is the bad one.
Thor.
That's a Dark World, I think. So,
I feel like Thor 1. I feel like she phoned Thor 1 and Thor 2 in.
Who did? Natalie Portman?
I feel like she just phoned it right in.
Queen Amidala?
Which I think
Which
she
is
also.
sad.
I feel like she put more effort into Queen Amidala for sure. But I don't put. I wouldn't put Thor that high. Not a 7 out of 10. Thor 2 is definitely a 3 or 4, and Thor 1 is definitely a 5 or 6. And I mean, Ragnarok. If we're just going to go jump right through the Thors quickly, is definitely a.
I might give that
Oh,
an
that's like
8.
an 8. Yeah, that's. I love that movie. It's so fun.
It's my favorite Thor book, probably.
Oh yeah, it's on the like it's one of the funnest Marvel movies. Period. It surpasses Guardians of the Galaxy and how fun it is.
I'd have to rewatch them. It's been a while. Because those are really good movies, especially first.
First watching is really good. Drax is a little repetitive after.
It's true at the time, though, he was novel and could get away with it.
Which part?
Yeah, No Way to What?
No Way Home. Good movie. Too many member berries though. But again, I rewatched.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, Ragnarok just all of
But I
them.
love Ragnarok.
It holds up on rewatch after rewatch after rewatch. And Guardians, Drax really drags down the flow with his I don't understand jokes.
I like his jokes a lot. I mean, that movie's just so well put together, the music and everything.
Which one? The first one? Or the
Yeah,
second
the first. Especially. I think the second's really good too, but I'm just talking about the first. In terms of being more fun than Ragnarok.
Huh. Well, we should definitely rewatch them between now and next week and finish this.
I wouldn't mind rewatching Guardians because it's been a long time for me.
All right, maybe the original Guardians, because I kind of remember every time I watch these movies,
I'm watching them in sequence to get ready for what's coming. So like Guardians gets watched in row because they don't affect anything outside of their own world.
The Guardians of the Galaxy video game. Again, I just got to recommend it to you because every list of the year's best games says.
You've said that, and I need you to remind me
It's
when I'm
single-
actually on Steam, and I'll check it out. Is it on Steam?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it should be. I haven't checked, but it'll be. I think he completely agrees.
Yeah. We should check if his Apple will play that game, and I'll start playing it. I think we'll hit a last bongo round because we're over 3 hours and Ryan is sleeping. Full on asleep.
Yep.
Ready to hit last bongo with me? We're gonna let Ryan sleep through the last bongo.
I don't think he needs a last one.
Not that we have to get off right in a second. Just I think we're winding down. We're down to just straight up rating them on a scale of 1 to 10, which I think we should continue and maybe remember where we left off. If I have a pen right here, I might.
Absolutely not.
I feel like we
It's
should
terrible.
inevitably catalog all of our answers. And Zach, I'm sure, will rewatch this episode in tedium to write them all down.
Which is the best one? Guardians is up there.
Should do the should roll a big blunt and do the how high when he puts Du Hast on. Right, you didn't even know that song.
Du Hast?
Yeah.
I know it because Sabrina Solo Show plays it all the time.
Okay.
She has a version renamed after one of the top donors, Du Crunch.
When we did how high, did you not recognize it?
Of course.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, Sabrina Solo
I wonder if that would work with Ryan if I did the. Ryan, would you like hit a bongo?
And I meant to tell you that she covers that well.
I'm a fan of that song. What time is it? Oh, that's not too bad. But that is pretty late. How are you feeling?
I woke up at 4 p.m. today, so I'm fine.
Well, I was just actually saying that we were just going to hit the last bongo and maybe call it a night. Unless you're waking up to join the conversation. And on that note, do you have anything you want to say to the people before we end it?
Bongos and Monday night.
Zach, anything you want to add to that?
I think Ryan summarized it perfectly.
He definitely did. Well, everybody, just want to say
Thanks for watching.
oh man, I love doing this. Stay tuned and stay lifted.
Kids know the cat is on Let's get dangerous.
Man, that shit smell good as hell, dog. I'm Jamal.
Peace, Silas.
No matter where you go,